Hello and welcome to Chinese Novel Audiobook. Explore our playlist for more captivating novels, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Now, let's dive into today's story. Chapter 1, Rebirth After the End of the World. Pirates for All. Devil Fruit. Tisk, who do you think you are? You can't do it without the company. Are young people so self-righteous nowadays? That's hilarious. I illegally terminated the contract and fired you, so what? Haha, if you have the guts, why don't you go and arbitrate? Quote. Magic City, a company building. In a large internet company with hundreds of employees, the company building is still brightly lit even late at night. Countless employees are busy working overtime, but at this time in the executive office, there were only 2 people in the huge room, and the atmosphere was extremely strange. The female executive sat on the chair with a haughty look on her face, looking disdainfully at the intern Lu Ming who was standing in a daze opposite her. Hey, I'm talking to you. Really, you can't do anything. Are you deaf too? Lu Ming finally came back to his senses after hearing the female executive's shrill roar. He looked at the female executive in front of him and his own intact body, feeling a little at a loss. I am reborn. Lu Ming stared in amazement at the female executive in front of him, whom he once hated the most. She was now filled with emotion. But this feeling is fleeting. The next moment, a hideous smile suddenly appeared on Lu Ming's face. The smile gradually became more and more wanton. He couldn't help but kneel on the ground with his face covered, letting out a shrill laugh. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha, I was actually reborn. Quote. Facing Lu Ming's sudden strange behavior, the female executive was displeased and frowned, angrily saying, Are you fucking sick? What the hell are you doing here? This is the company. Don't try to trick me. Don't think you can cheat me or the company. Your trick is really too childish. The female executive kept cursing, but Lu Ming's shrill laughter gradually subsided. Suddenly, Lu Ming looked up and stared coldly at the bloated face of the female executive, who was nearly 40 years old and had undergone excessive medical cosmetic surgery. What the hell are you looking at? You are fired. Don't you understand? Rubbish. You can go to any arbitration place you want. I have connections in the entire industry. I will make sure you will never find a job. Look at your mother. Before the female executive could finish her words, Lu Ming rushed forward and grabbed the female executive's neck with his right hand, squeezing it so hard that the female executive could not make a sound. Call. Keep on yelling. Lu Ming recalled that before the end of the world in his previous life, he was maliciously fired by this bitch and then went to the labor bureau for arbitration. It turns out that this bitch actually has connections in the labor bureau. The final arbitration result can be imagined. The most important thing is that I was maliciously slandered by this bitch and could no longer find a job in Shanghai. In the end, I couldn't even pay the rent, so I was kicked out by the landlord and ended up living on the streets. Fortunately, the end of the world came and the pirate system came. The world order is reshuffled. The female executive's face turned red, and she slapped Lu Ming with her limbs frantically. During the struggle, objects on the desk were knocked to the ground with bangs. Lu Ming showed a ferocious smile, looked at the female executive with an evil smile, and whispered in her ear. Hey, you want someone outside to rescue you? Ha ha ha, are you stupid? The executive offices are specially soundproofed, don't you know that? Look at these people, giving orders to us low-level employees every day. It feels good, right? Lu Ming grabbed the female executive's neck tightly and pushed her close to the office glass. The glass was one way and one could only see outside from the inside. There were dozens of employees outside who couldn't see or hear anything going on in the office. Release. Let you go. Boom. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and slapped the female executive hard on the face, leaving a bright red palm print. The female executive's face gradually turned red like liver, and she used her long fingernails to pry Lu Ming's palms apart, leaving bloodstains all over Lu Ming's palms, but Lu Ming did not let go at all. Call. Scream. Scream for me. Scream. Scream out. Boom. 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 Lu Ming slammed the female executive's head hard on the desk, causing a loud noise, but the employees outside remained as usual, which shows that the sound insulation was well done. Ha ha ha, isn't your mother very awesome? Don't you like to use your connections and power to bully low-level employees like us? Come on, keep scolding, keep doing it, I'm fucking talking to you. Scream, bitch. Fuck, I told you to scream. Quote. After several heavy blows, blood gushed out of the female executive's head like a fountain, and she fell to the ground without any strength left. Lu Ming's white shirt was stained with blood, and his originally handsome face now looked fierce and fierce. Lu Ming sat dejectedly in his office chair, his chest heaving violently, his bloodshot eyes coldly looking at the female executive who collapsed on the ground. For a long time, Lu Ming regained his composure and wiped his hands with a tissue from his desk. He waited until everyone had left work before locking the door and leaving the office. I have more important things to do. Doomsday. Tsunami. 7 days. 7 days later, the end of the world will come. It is a disaster that is enough to destroy human civilization. The global glaciers will melt, and a huge century flood will sweep all the land in the world. Forests, deserts, and fields will all be swallowed up by the sea, and replaced by famine, tsunamis and storms. The tsunami is just a prelude. On the same day that the order of human civilization was destroyed by the tsunami. Global pirate system is here. That's right. This is the world mechanism of One Piece. They forcibly descend upon the blue planet, the hot weapons on the blue planet are wiped out, and mankind regresses to the era of cold weapons. But the navy, pirates, supplies, weapons, and devil fruits all become reality. In the previous life, all the survivors around the world awakened to the pirate system on this day, and were defaulted to users by the system and had civilian identities. Everyone has the qualification to choose to join the navy, pirate, or bounty hunter camps. Killing people from the enemy camp or sea ghosts will earn you some points, which can be used to purchase supplies in the store. Sea ghost. After the system came, there were mysterious creatures that feed on humans like zombies. Killing sea ghosts not only earns points, but also has a certain probability of getting treasure chests of different colors. The color of the treasure chest increases with the strength of the sea ghost, from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple, and the level of the treasure chest increases from low to high. Not only can you get food and fresh water from it, but some people even get islands from it. But those are things that will happen after the end of the world. Now, Lu Ming's top priority is to collect a large amount of supplies, a ship, and devil fruit. Even though the end of the world will not come until 7 days later, according to the memories of some big guys in the previous life, they had already obtained the devil fruits long before the end of the world. Step by step. Anyone who has watched One Piece knows that excellent devil fruit abilities will determine the size of each person's face. Lu Ming swore that he would be the one with the most face in this life. Coincidentally, a top-level devil fruit is about to appear in the Demon City. And Lu Ming just happened to know his whereabouts. Walking out of the company building, facing the evening breeze, Lu Ming looked at the quiet streets of the Magic City at night, his heart surging with excitement. The cold evening breeze blew against his body, forcing Lu Ming's memories of his previous life to flash before his eyes again and again. On the empty street, Lu Ming roared to the sky with a ferocious look on his face. Zhou Qi, you're a traitor. You betrayed the captain and killed a whole ship of brothers. I will kill you. Zhang Jingjing, you stinky bitch. I saved your life and gave you a devil fruit. You were hooking up with Zhou Qi. Cut off my limbs, gouge out my eyes, kill my mentor, kill my brothers, and make me a useless person. Okay, I will inflict all the pain I've ever suffered 1,000 times on you two bitches. I, Lu Ming, always keep my word. The street was empty, but Lu Ming's roar could be heard echoing in the distance. The pitch-black night gradually enveloped Lu Ming's resolute body, and he gradually blended into the gloom of the night with a sinister smile. Chapter 2 Fruit Clues. Soul Fruit. Official wanted. Vertical sun. 6 days left until the end of the world. In the suburbs of Shanghai, a new variety of peach-picking garden. What? 5W. You want to take over my little peach garden. The owner of the peach orchard is an old local man. His daughter is married and he and his wife live out their retirement in the peach orchard. During this period, Lu Ming was avoiding the police's pursuit, and at the same time, based on the memories of the great pirate Emperor Shu Li in his previous life, he finally found the paradise where the soul fruit appeared. In his previous life, the great pirate Emperor Shu Li came to this peach orchard to pick peaches, and there he accidentally found the soul fruit that had just transformed. Shu Li himself is also a One Piece fan, and recognized the devil fruit at the first time. Driven by curiosity, he ate the devil fruit and gained the ability of the soul fruit. And when the end of the world came and the pirate system was implemented, he joined the pirate camp. Relying on the outstanding ability of the soul fruit, Shu Li gradually rose from a first-level small pirate to a ninth-level pirate emperor, thus dominating the entire Jiangnan waters of Daxia. In the end, together with Zhao Bishan, the Azure Dragon General of the Kyoto Navy, and Niu Mantang, the Qilin Emperor, the bounty hunter in Shu, they were collectively known as the Three Giants of Daxia. Lu Ming was very fortunate. The reason he was able to find this peach garden was because the old man had a very unique surname. Last name, Pan. The old man also named his Taoyuan Pan Taoyuan, and a certain review gave it a 5-star rating. If not for this, Lu Ming would have already settled for the second best and looked for other devil fruits. That's right, Mr. Pan, our company wants to hold a parent-child event. So we need to rent a place like this. But during the lease period, no one except me can enter Taoyuan, otherwise it will be considered a breach of contract. Triple compensation for breach of contract, Lu Ming said solemnly. The two old men looked at each other knowingly, and old man Pan said sincerely. Apart from those who come to pick peaches, no one usually comes to our peach orchard, unless you let people in yourself. Lu Ming nodded. I had observed this peach orchard a long time ago. It was surrounded by guardrails and a small river on all sides. Except for the entrance, there was no other way to get in. As long as you guard the gate, this peach garden will be yours. Then this money. Can you please increase your salary, young man? It's not easy for us old couple, considering your company is so big. Yes, we have such a big peach garden, and we'll leave it all to you. Lu Ming made a very embarrassed expression. Uncle Pan's wife poked him and winked at him. Hey, young man, just increase your salary a little bit, just increase it a little bit. We'll rent it to you. We'll rent it to you and move out. My daughter is in confinement after giving birth. Okay, but our budget is limited. The most we can give you is 1 yuan. Okay. Young man, you are a good man. Young man, look at this money. Lu Ming took out a stack of contracts from his bag and looked at Mr. Pan and his wife with a smile. After we sign the contract, I can pay. Full payment. Middle. Soon, the two parties reached an agreement, signed and stamped their signatures, and then transferred the money to Mr. Pan's daughter. The old couple then hurriedly bought plane tickets and flew to their daughter's home. Thus, Lu Ming gained a peach orchard. Taoyuan, where the soul fruit is about to be born. Lu Ming immediately closed the online Taoyuan store and hung a sign saying, out of business, in front of the entrance to Taoyuan. Then he immediately counted the peach trees in the orchard. There are a total of 18 peach trees and 723 peaches. After putting down the heavy stone in his heart, Lu Ming returned to Uncle Pan's house, which was now his. He lay on the bed and searched for any news about the devil fruit. Shocking. In a large internet company in Shanghai, an intern beat up a female executive and fled. Closing square bracket. Qingfeng Zilai. Damn, this guy did something I always wanted to do but didn't dare to do. The king sent me to patrol the mountains, sir, great justice. Ling Ling is the most beautiful. After all, the executives are women. Beating women. Haha. Wangzai Xiaozusu. That's right. Beating a woman. This man is really stupid. Ah. Little clay man, the pressure is on the police officers. Quote. Damn, it's even on the trending search list. Lu Ming was speechless for a while and only hoped that the police would not find him before he obtained the soul fruit. Icebergs are melting. Global sea levels are reaching new highs again. Closing square bracket. Sweet and sour koi fish, hurry up and destroy it. I don't want to go to this class for a day. Lonely 5678, +1. The boss is very considerate. Report the poster for slacking off at work. In coastal cities around the world, fresh water turns into seawater. Closing square bracket. Dinner today Fujian yin, really. The water supply in my house has been cut off. White cut chicken specialty store, when will the water come? Urgent. Beer belly, why are there so many natural disasters recently? Is it the end of the world? Ha ha ha. Sakura country is in danger. Earthquakes, tsunamis and storms are frequent. Is this a sign of a volcanic eruption? Closing square bracket. 25k, I need to change the world map at home. Single you stick brother, ha 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 ha. The 5-star red flag flutters. Today is a good day, everything you wish for can come true. Question mark. Lu Ming frowned and thought to himself, is it about to start already? It seems that I have to hurry up. After getting the soul fruit, I have to go purchase supplies. I have to get a yacht at least. After all, in the early days of the apocalypse, after the system came into being, a small raft per person was standard. But there are always rich people who spend money at the beginning. In my previous life, I was floating on the sea on a small raft, and a rich man drove over on his yacht, and my raft was instantly shattered. If Lu Ming had not floated holding on to the wood for half a month and was finally rescued by the captain of the previous life, Lu Ming would have become food for sea ghosts long ago. Damn it, I have to get the yacht I've always wanted. And there are men. I've been reborn, can't I just enjoy being a boss? Thinking of this, Lu Ming hummed a little tune proudly. It was the first time in his 2 lifetimes that he felt so happy. 3 days later, Lu Ming stayed in Taoyuan for the past 3 days. Every day, apart from counting the peaches, he would make fire and cook. Uncle Pan left behind a dozen free-range chickens, which had been almost all eaten by Lu Ming. Lu Ming looked at the peaches all over the garden, and he didn't dare to eat any of them, for fear that he would eat a mutated one. 3 days left until the end of the world. Lu Ming stared at the marks he had carved on the wall, which were a sign of the coming of doomsday, and murmured, wait a little longer, wait a little longer. According to Soul Emperor Shu Li's own account in the previous life, the mutation happened in these few days. Wait a minute, it really can't work. Just when Lu Ming was making the worst plan, a car horn honked outside Taoyuan. The police are here. Lu Ming was suddenly startled, his eyes focused, and he immediately turned over from the bed, picked up a set of recurve bows he had brought with him, leaned against the door, and looked out through the crack. Chapter 3, The Pirate Emperor. Identity exposed. Fruit obtained. I said, why are you picking peaches if you have nothing to do? Why do you have to come so far? Can't you just buy it in the live broadcast room? Mr. Pan's peaches are delicious. What's wrong with you coming out to play with me? No, I'm happy to accompany my own wife. Outside Taoyuan, a large G-class stopped at the door, and 2 men and 1 woman got out of the car. The man and woman in the lead were obviously a couple, and behind them was a young man who was playing King of Glory with his head down. Hey, why is Taoyuan closed? That shouldn't be the case. Mr. Pan already made an appointment with me last time. Uncle Pan, are you there? When Lu Ming saw that the person coming was not a policeman, he instantly breathed a sigh of relief. The end of the world had not yet come and he had not yet eaten the devil fruit. Lu Ming hung up his recurve bow, and walked out with a smile on his face. Hey, it's coming. Lu Ming spoke first, looking at the woman opposite him and asked, hello, our Taoyuan is closed for renovation recently. What are you pretending to be doing in this lousy peach orchard? Hurry up, let us go in and pick some peaches and leave. I'm talking to you. Did you hear me? What are you staring at? The woman's husband looked unhappy. Lu Ming was stunned and ignored their words. Instead, he looked at the young man behind them who was beating the king with his head down. That's right, it's him. The 9th-level pirate emperor, Shu Li. In his previous life, Lu Ming had the good fortune to meet this domineering emperor of the sea from afar. Since Shu Li is here, it means that devil fruits may have appeared in Taoyuan now. Sorry, we are really renovating. Come back next week. Lu Ming didn't want to let them in. What if the fruits were picked and run away? The girl asked unhappily, who are you? Where is Mr. Pan? Why haven't I seen you before? That's right. Stop talking nonsense. We've come all the way here, just pick a few and leave. It's not like you'll lose money. Lu Ming was speechless and explained, sorry, you guys really can't do it. Stop talking nonsense. If you keep talking nonsense to me, I'll ask the Industrial and Commercial Bureau to investigate you. Let me tell you, I have plenty of connections. Hearing this, Lu Ming gritted his teeth, speechless in his heart. It's true that I meet idiots wherever I go. In a trance, Shula, who was originally playing games, couldn't help but look up at Lu Ming, and there seemed to be a hint of astonishment in his eyes. Hey, brother-in-law, why don't we go and come back another day? Shula swallowed and pulled at his brother-in-law's collar. Seeing this scene, Lu Ming understood in his heart, this Shula definitely recognized me. Fuck the hot search. Okay, come on, pick a few and go. Lu Ming looked helpless. HMPH. That's pretty much it. Why don't you just do this earlier? What are you still wasting your words? Seeing Lu Ming surrender, Shuli's brother-in-law and sister looked triumphant, but Shulik behind them had a bitter and conflicted look on his face. Let's go. I feel a little uncomfortable, sis. Why are you leaving? You finally got in. Let me tell you, the peaches here are delicious. You and your sister will pick a few more later. Your brother-in-law, have money. Quote. Lu Ming looked coldly at the three people walking towards the yard and sneered in his heart, you don't take the road to heaven, but you break into hell where there is no door. Hey, why am I becoming more and more like a villain? Who cares? He recognized me and still wants to leave. Lu Ming watched the three people enter the yard and turned around to get the recurve bow. In Taoyuan. Honey, look how big this peach is. Oh, you're so attractive. Fuck you. Hey. Brother-in-law, sister. You two better stop showing off. It's a big deal. Hey Shaola, what's the matter? Pick some more. It's a big deal. Brother-in-law, that man just now is a fugitive. Look at the trending searches. Shocking. In a large internet company in Shanghai, an intern beat up a female executive and fled. Closing square bracket. Shuli's brother-in-law and sister immediately opened their phones and saw the first trending search, which was also accompanied by Lu Ming's work photo. Fuck. What? This, husband, what should I do? What should I do? Isn't this person a murderer? Don't panic. Let's go quickly. And then call the police. Just when the three were about to leave, Shula seemed to see a fruit with strange textures growing on the peach tree not far in front of him. Shula was shocked. Devil fruit. How is this possible? As a veteran One Piece fan, Shula was subconsciously attracted to this devil fruit, as if the fruit was calling him. Hurry up, Shaola. Oh, wait, let me pick this. The next moment, Shula picked up the devil fruit, observed it carefully, and complained in his heart. Oh my god, it really looks like that. Is this some new marketing trick? Would you like to try it? What if it's true? Driven by curiosity, Shula brought the devil fruit to his mouth. Whoosh! A carbon fiber arrow handle with a three-edged alloy arrowhead pierced Shuli's neck. Blood instantly flowed along the arrow shaft like a fountain. Whoosh! In the blink of an eye, another one came quietly and pierced through Shuli's head in an instant, entering his temple. Blood splattered everywhere, and Shula fell in a pool of blood, no longer making any sound. Shaola, younger brother. In this life, the great pirate Emperor Shula was killed by these two arrows before he could eat the devil fruit that belonged to him. The devil fruit fell in front of Shuli's body. His pupils were dilated but he was still staring at the devil fruit, and he died with his eyes open. Seeing this, Lu Ming curled his lips and cursed angrily on the roof not far away. Luckily, I practiced archery for 4 years in college, otherwise I would have been in big trouble. If I tell you to eat, then eat it. You don't want to eat all these peaches, but you insist on eating my devil fruit. At this time, Shuli's sister and brother-in-law seemed to see Shula on the roof, and they picked up the bow and arrow and pointed it at them. They were instantly frightened and kept calling for help. Run, husband, Shaola, my brother. Run first, he wants to silence us. Call the police, let's call the police. Well. The two men fled in panic, and Lu Ming did not release his bow until they got into the car and the car was far away. Just because there is no arrow on the bow. For Lu Ming, as long as the two of them don't get close to the devil fruit, he won't take action against them. Even though he had experienced the end of the world, Lu Ming had already seen the ugliness of human nature, but that didn't mean he would degenerate into a beast. In the ruined world at the end of the world, the first thing to be lost is definitely humanity, but anyone who can survive to the end still relies on humanity. Unless it's someone who infringes on your interests. It was obvious that Shu Le had touched Lu Ming's devil fruit. Therefore, he must die. After a while, Lu Ming walked slowly into Taoyuan holding a bow. Standing beside Shu Li's body, picking up the devil fruit, and looking at Shu Le lying at his feet, Lu Ming felt a mixture of emotions. Once upon a time, this pirate emperor who dominated the Jiangnan waters was only worthy of being looked at from afar. But now, he is just a corpse. It is really a joke of fate. Lu Ming sighed, looked at the devil fruit in his hand, resisted the urge to eat it, and immediately searched Taoyuan again. After confirming that there was no second devil fruit, Lu Ming put on his luggage and immediately fled. By the time the police arrived, Taoyuan was already deserted. Chapter 4, The Shipyard in the Magic City. Doomsday is coming. See Ghost Fish Monster. Zhongyang Road Wholesale Market was robbed. Dozens of tons of fresh food were looted. Closing square bracket. The number of crows in our city has increased sharply recently. Many citizens have witnessed a large number of crows circling. Closing square bracket. It is reported that the suspect who beat up the female executive is still at large. We hope that the general public will provide clues and report. Closing square bracket. ... Magic City. Question mark. Distance to Doomsday, 2H+. The night was crowded with people and the nightlife was bright and bustling. Lu Ming, wearing a baseball cap, sat in the square eating an ice cream cone, enjoying the last bit of the urban atmosphere, while constantly checking the hot search news of the past few days. Coincidentally, a crow landed in front of him and cawed twice. Then, Lu Ming smiled, pulled down his cap, and murmured, "It's been a few days, you haven't given up yet." The next moment, Lu Ming stood up and left. Seeing Lu Ming leaving, the three policemen who were lying in ambush nearby immediately panicked and hurriedly followed him. Damn it, he seems to know it. It's all because of that damn crow. Could it be possible that the crow could give him a message? Chase him, don't let him get away. Quote. But as Lu Ming dived into the crowd, the three policemen instantly lost their target, and Lu Ming had already walked into the alley where a car was already waiting. After an hour. Magic City Shipyard. The car stopped in front of the shipyard. The driver got out in a hurry and opened the door for Lu Ming. Lu Ming got up and walked into the shipyard. The soybean people, passing by, greeted Lu Ming one by one. Hi boss. This feels really good. Lu Ming walked into the shipyard with a smile. In such a huge space, a giant cruise ship over 300 meters long and 24 stories high was parked inside the shipyard. Hundreds of bean men maintain the work of the shipyard, repairing cruise ships and moving goods onto them. In the corner of the shipyard, there is a mountain of goods piled up, including medicines, drinks, fast food, cold weapons, everything you can think of. His men immediately brought lounge chairs, drinks, fruits and snacks. Lu Ming lay comfortably on the recliner, looking at the giant cruise ship he had personally selected, feeling indescribably satisfied. The cruise ship in front of us has a total of 24 decks and can accommodate more than 6,000 people. It was produced in the United States and is used for daily tourism between Daxia and Sakura country. However, due to its long years of use, it was sent to the Magic City shipyard for maintenance. Coincidentally, Lu Ming took a fancy to her. So, Lu Ming occupied the entire shipyard, continuing maintenance on the one hand and storing supplies for the coming of Doomsday on the other. Boss, the 30,000 cartons of medicine, 100,000 cartons of fresh water, and 200,000 kilograms of fruits, vegetables, and frozen meat you requested have already been put into storage. Boss, the 10,000 bows and swords you ordered have arrived. Boss. Quote. One by one, the soybean people stood neatly beside Lu Ming, holding reports and reporting on their work. Lu Ming took a sip of his drink, looked at the report in his hand, nodded, and thought to himself, these should be enough. The reason why so many supplies were obtained was thanks to the many, soybean people, in front of him. These, soybean people, were all homits, created by Lu Ming through the power of the soul fruit. Throwing beans to make soldiers, give the soybeans a weak soul, making them become yellow turban warriors, who can charge into battle or do odd jobs. This was originally the signature skill of the pirate Emperor Shula. In his previous life, Shula used this trick to mobilize hundreds of thousands of yellow turban warriors, at a time, slaughtering sea ghosts on a large scale and accumulating huge amounts of points. Now, Lu Ming is just copying and borrowing. It's a pity that these soybean people are all male, their faces are randomly generated, and there are not a single girl. This made Lu Ming feel a little regretful. Ever since Lu Ming endured the smell of shit and forced himself to eat the devil fruit, he gained the ability of the soul fruit. After eating the fruit, Lu Ming instantly understood the ability of this fruit. It was similar to the ability of Big Mom in the anime, but there were some differences. But the most critical ability is soul creation, creating anthropomorphic creatures. Homits. Lu Ming also divided the homies into several levels. There are 7 levels of homies: rainbow, diamond, emerald, platinum, gold, silver, and bronze. Rainbow is the strongest and bronze is the weakest. Bronze level homits yellow turban warrior. Even at the lowest level, as long as the number is considerable, it is a fighting force that cannot be underestimated. Lu Ming drank the drink in his hand in one gulp. Just when he was secretly feeling proud and ready to wait for the end of the world to come, a piercing voice sounded behind him. Lu Ming, hands up. Don't move. You're under arrest. Hearing this, Lu Ming was surprised and turned to look at the entrance, only to see 3 policemen pointing guns at him. Leading the group was a young female police officer with short hair. Beside her were 2 policemen, one fat and one tall, who were staring at her in full readiness. Seeing the 3 invaders, a group of yellow turban warriors stood in front of Lu Ming and stared at the 3 policemen with serious expressions. In an instant, the yellow turban warriors rushed out and surrounded the 3 people. Oh my god, we are the police. What are you doing? Lu Ming, you are suspected of intentional injury and intentional homicide, just surrender. In Daxia, there are still people who dare to openly resist the law. I really don't know how to write death. Quote. The 3 policemen were not afraid at all. Instead, they began to ridicule Lu Ming, who was blocked by many yellow turban warriors. Lu Ming shrugged, pointed, and gave instructions to the many yellow turban warriors. Take it. The next moment, hundreds of yellow turban warriors rushed towards the 3 policemen. Boom, boom, boom. But no matter how they fired, these yellow turban warriors seemed to be invulnerable. In the end, the 3 policemen were tied up like a twist and thrown in front of Lu Ming. Lu Ming, I'm telling you, let us go and surrender as soon as possible. Otherwise, you will die. If you dare to openly confront me, you're done. Let us go, and talk it over. There's no point in resisting. Quote. Lu Ming walked forward, looked at the 3 people and asked. How did you find me? Hee, don't think we don't know that you can tame those crows to monitor the surroundings for you. The short-haired policewoman looked at Lu Ming coldly and said in a cold voice. There was a hint of approval in Lu Ming's eyes. Quite smart. You are qualified to be my hard-working employee. HMPH. I will never bow to a criminal. The short-haired policewoman held her head high heroically. Lu Ming smiled. I looked at the time and there was still an hour left until the end of the world. If Lu Ming were really asked to do something to these 3 policemen now, he would feel a little guilty. Forget it, wait a moment. Lu Ming ordered. I hope you can still maintain this rebellious attitude in an hour. The 3 policemen looked disdainful. Lu Ming turned to look at the yellow turban warriors. It's almost time, let's start loading the ship. Boss, what about the original people in the shipyard? Let them fend for themselves. Okay. Time passed by minute. All the cargo has been loaded and the cruise ship has been launched. Everything is ready, just waiting for Lu Ming's order. While Lu Ming was lying on a recliner, eating snacks, the 3 policemen opposite him kept ridiculing him. Question mark. Ding. Question mark. Blue star data entry completed. The national pirate system is now launched. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Congratulations, you have been selected by the system. Name: Lu Ming. Question mark. Age, 24. Species, human. Level, none. Ability, parahuman soul fruit owner. Your current status, civilian. Closing square bracket. Backpack, empty. Warning. At everyone, the doomsday tsunami will arrive in an hour. Blue Star's weapon technology has been erased. Novice tasks have been issued, and sea ghosts are about to wreak havoc. Please evacuate in time. Closing square bracket. Novice mission. Kill the sea ghost alone. Mission rewards. Faction selection and faction newbie gift pack. Question mark. Please enjoy your sailing life. Comma. Ah. Did you hear any sound? I heard it. What do you mean by enjoying life? Damn it, untie us now, I feel like something is going to happen. Quote. Before Lu Ming could speak, he heard a roar coming from underwater. In the blink of an eye, fish monsters as big as wolves jumped out of the water. Like the Han River monster, dozens of them jumped out of the water one after another. Bang, bang. Suddenly, a larger fish monster crawled out from the water. Roar. The giant fish monster roared at everyone, and its roar was announcing to the world that the end of the world has come. What the hell, what is that? Oh my god, the Han River monster really exists. Lu Ming, please let us go. We have guns. Quote. Lu Ming ignored the three policemen and instead looked at the group of yellow turban warriors and gave orders. Don't panic. Follow the drill. All yellow turban warriors, take up your weapons. Shield soldiers go forward, spear soldiers in the middle, archers in the back. Lu Ming currently has a total of 600 yellow turban warriors under his command. After hearing the order, they immediately equipped themselves with weapons. 200 yellow turban strongmen carried heavy steel shields and stood in front of them like a solid wall of steel. 200 yellow turban strongmen held spears, hid behind the shield soldiers, and stabbed the fish monsters that were rushing up one by one. The last 200 yellow turban warriors stood at the back, holding longbows and shooting arrows at these fish monsters one by one. As for Lu Ming, he was standing at the highest point, looking down from above, absorbing the soul of the fish monster after its death. After the fish monster dies, its soul will condense into weak flames. Lu Ming, who has swallowed the soul fruit, can absorb these souls to strengthen himself. Every time he absorbed a wisp of soul flame, Lu Ming could feel that his strength, physique, speed and soul became stronger. The three policemen in the corner were stunned by the scene. Fuck, does this guy have some superpowers? Humph, what's so great about that? He's just a criminal. This guy must know something. Quote. Roar. 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 When the giant fish monster saw its subordinates falling one by one, its scarlet eyes burst into anger and it jumped towards the yellow turban warriors' formation. Boom, boom, boom. The huge body of the giant fish monster knocked the yellow turban warriors away one by one. The originally orderly formation became scattered under the impact of the giant fish monster. In the corner, one of the three policemen happened to break free from the rope. The next moment, he glanced at the fish monster not far away, then looked at his two teammates, gritted his teeth and ran towards the entrance. Fuck. Jiang Jun, are you coming back? Save us. Jiang Jun, you are not worthy of being a people's policeman. Forget it, Chief Wu, stop shouting. Haven't you figured it out yet? No matter what, Jiang Jun shouldn't have abandoned us. Isn't he your boyfriend? But the world is about to change. Quote. Just as the two were filled with anger, a giant fish monster was attracted by their voices and rushed towards them. Oh shit, it's over. I'm going to die in the line of duty. Damn you Jiang Jun, I won't let you go even if I become a ghost. Jiang Jun, I misjudged you. Quote. Just when the two were about to be eaten by the fish, Lu Ming descended from the sky, holding a standard long knife, and cut the ropes that bound the two with one knife. Just as the fish monster opened its bloody mouth and was about to swallow Lu Ming. The power of Lu Ming's soul suddenly condensed on the long sword, and his eyes stared coldly at the giant fish monster in front of him that he was very familiar with. In the previous life, I had killed countless low-level sea ghosts like these. Lu Ming shouted coldly. Open. Lu Ming moved and slashed with the long sword in his hand. The giant fish monster was instantly split into two parts. Question mark. Ding. Congratulations, you have achieved the first kill of Sea Ghost. Closing square bracket. Question mark. You get the first kill reward. Question mark. Ding. You killed 1 Naga warrior, obtained 1 red treasure chest, 3 points, and 1 level 1 Sea Ghost crystal. Question mark. Ding. Congratulations, you have completed the novice mission. Closing square bracket. Question mark. You can currently choose to join any camp. Question mark. Ding. Question mark. Question mark. Lu Ming smiled evilly and said loudly to the group of yellow turban warriors. Young ones. It's the end of the world. Set sail for me, and let's open for business. Chapter 5, Bounty Hunter. First kill reward. Spiritual weapon. Midnight. Magic City. People have not yet realized that the crisis has arrived, but at this moment in the lights and haze, the giant ship made a buzzing sound and slowly sailed away from the shipyard. Countless crows circled above the giant ship. As time passed, the waves gradually rose and beat the shore mercilessly. Strong winds, heavy rain, thunder, dark clouds, tsunami. The continent began to be swallowed by the ocean. For a whole night, seawater invaded every city in the world, submerging farmland and buildings. People fled in panic but could not escape the surging sea. Sunrise, early morning. At sea, cruise ship. Lu Ming stood indifferently on the deck, letting the sea breeze blow, basking in the new sunshine, and looking into the distance at the land that had long disappeared. 2 policemen sat on the deck slumped over with dull eyes. Why? Why is this happening? Everything is gone. Everything is gone. Momo, you slapped me. Am I dreaming? I must be dreaming. Roll. Policewoman Ling Momo glared at Lu Ming, suddenly grabbed Lu Ming's collar and shouted. You obviously have the ability. Why don't you save people? You knew the end was coming, why didn't you say it earlier? It's all because of you. You murderer. You selfish bastard. You killed everyone. Quote. Snapped. Lu Ming slapped Ling Momo on the face, leaving a bright red mark. Ling Momo collapsed to the ground, and Lu Ming looked at her coldly. Don't tell me men don't hit women. If you dare to be unreasonable with me again, I will let you know how much it hurts when I punch you in the face. Humph, I, a Sigma man, am fearless. Lu Ming snorted coldly. Ling Momo looked at Lu Ming angrily, gritting her teeth. Another policeman, Wu Chu, looked at Lu Ming with a fierce look on his face, swallowed his saliva and trembled uncontrollably. Lu Ming rolled his eyes at Ling Momo and said with disdain. I originally thought you were a smart person, but I didn't expect you to be a brainless saintly bitch. As soon as Lu Ming finished speaking, a system notification sound rang in his ears. Question mark. Congratulations. You have completed the novice task. Question mark. Please select the camp you want to join. Question mark. Pirates. Question mark. Navy. Question mark. Bounty hunter. Behind each option, there is also a brief introduction to the camp. Without hesitation, Lu Ming chose bounty hunter simply because he was a bounty hunter in his previous life. In the age of universal pirates, the only hard currency is points issued by the system. As long as you have enough points, you can redeem anything through the mall. Question mark. Bounty hunter. Being able to accept the bounty order issued by the system and complete the bounty can earn massive points. No matter whether you are a pirate or a navy, you are all on the system's bounty list with a clear price tag. Question mark. Ding. Question mark. Congratulations, you have become a bounty hunter. You get the bounty hunter's universal talent. Sword mastery. You can quickly master the use of swords. You get the bounty hunter's universal talent. Question mark. 9% discount. You can get 9% discount by using the store. You obtain the bounty hunter's universal talent. Prey suppression. Suppress the bounty prey. 10%. Detected. You become bounty hunter number 001. Extra reward for your unique talent item appraisal. The novice bounty hunter gift pack has been sent to your backpack. Please check it. Closing square bracket. Lu Ming was surprised. I didn't expect that this life is different from the previous one. I actually have an extra unique talent. Item identification. Able to identify any item. It seems that this talent can be used to identify devil fruits. Unfortunately, I don't have any extra devil fruits at the moment. Lu Ming felt a little regretful. Open the newbie gift pack. Question mark. Ding. You get points 100, you get 1 novice long sword, you get basic sword skills. Alas, just like in the previous life, Lu Ming was not interested and turned to look at the first kill reward in his backpack. Question mark. Ding. You have obtained the first kill reward of Blue Star Sea Ghost, do you want to activate it? Closing square bracket. Open. Lu Ming agreed. The next moment, colorful light burst out in front of Lu Ming's eyes, and the dazzling light shone like a bright lamp on the sea level. Then, Lu Ming heard it. The general is born with courage and bravery, with a sword as sharp as a goose feather on his waist. You get, Lingwu Autumn Water Goose Feather Knife. Hearing this, Lu Ming was shocked. Lingwu. Spiritual weapons. The end of the world has just begun, and you are already giving out spiritual weapons. Oh, give it to me, that's okay. But I fought so hard in my previous life that I didn't even see a Xuanwu. How can you just give me a Lingwu now? Lu Ming felt depressed. It's like, a novice competition has just begun, everyone is a novice, and suddenly someone gets a peerless sword. How can we fight this? It's just a chicken feather. No wonder I fought so hard in my previous life and only managed to reach level 6. I'm still struggling to make ends meet, while others start with a peerless sword. But fortunately, in this life, I am the one holding the best sword in the world. Hee hee. Lu Ming smiled evilly. Base. The next moment, a simple and cool horizontal sword instantly appeared in Lu Ming's hand, and it was extremely sharp. Rub, rub, rub. Lu Ming waved it a few times and felt it was very handy. He felt that the goose feather knife seemed to have spirituality. Please name the spiritual weapon, ___. Ah. Hearing this, Lu Ming's mind moved, and then the soul power in his hand condensed. Split my soul, and I will give you life today. The power of the soul instantly poured into the Chu Shui Yan Ling knife, and Lu Ming's own soul was split a lot, and he muttered. Whale. Changtian. Spiritual weapon, Changtian, has been recorded. Closing square bracket. The voice just fell. The Changtian in Lu Ming's hand turned into a ball of white light, instantly flew into the sky, drilled into the thundercloud, began to devour the thunder, and then slowly fell to the ground. A ball of white light slowly fell in front of Lu Ming. Click. The ball of white light cracked like an eggshell. Click, 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 question mark. Ding. You created a rainbow-level homage. Closing square bracket. Chirp. Suddenly, the eggshell cracked, and a large white long-tailed tit flew out, with white feathers, a plump body, and cute eyes, which blinked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming was stunned, looking at the fat bird in front of him, a little confused. Question mark. Fat chick. Question mark. Rainbow class homage Changtian. Level. None. Species. Spiritual weapon. Form. Northern long-tailed tit autumn water goose feather knife. Ability. Change as you wish. Shouldn't it be transformed into some dragons, phoenixes, or unicorns? Wouldn't these look more domineering? I split so many of my souls, and the result was a fat sparrow. I mean, brother, you are a little too cute, aren't you? Changtian. Lu Ming called tentatively. Chirp. Changtian. Chirp. The fat bird flapped its little wings excitedly and slowly landed on Lu Ming's shoulder. Okay, I accept my fate. Lu Ming was helpless. Soon, Lu Ming adjusted his mood, opened the system panel and slid to the chat forum, only to find that the public channel had exploded. Didn't I drown in the sea? Why am I floating on the sea now? Damn, brother, me too, is this little bamboo raft sturdy? Closing square bracket. Help, help, there's a monster. There's a monster. Closing square bracket. Someone please save me. I am an old man floating on the sea. I am so miserable. You are so old and arrogant. Who can row to your place? Do you use your feet to row? Closing square bracket. Quote. Not only Lu Ming noticed the system forum, but even Ling Momo and Wu Chu behind him were paying attention to it. No one died in such a huge tsunami. How is that possible? Chief Wu was surprised. Ling Momo rolled her eyes at him and said, you still hope that everyone will die. Chief Wu. When Lu Ming saw the ID of the person who was besieged by monsters on the forum, he immediately initiated a chat. Lu Ming, do you have monsters there? Closing square bracket. 25k. Yes, yes. Brother, can you come and save me? There are all of us here. Lu Ming, send location. 25k. How to send it? Closing square bracket. Lu Ming. ... After obtaining the positioning, Lu Ming turned around and ordered the yellow turban warriors to change direction, and then the giant ship headed towards the positioning mark. Lu Ming's action stunned Ling Momo and Wu Chu behind him. The two of them whispered to each other, fearing that Lu Ming would hear them. Why did this guy change his personality? Is he going to save people? How should I know? Maybe I have touched his heart. Anyway, saving lives is a good thing. Why do I feel like this guy has taken a fancy to you? Roll. Okay. ... After half an hour. The sea area of Demon City. The giant ship arrived at its target location. From a distance, Lu Ming, standing on the deck, could see groups of Jana warriors besieging the residents on the raft. Hundreds of ordinary people tied the rafts together and stubbornly resisted the attack of these sea ghosts. In the crowd, a young man moved quickly among the Jana warriors. With the bone spear in his hand, he harvested the lives of the Jana warriors one by one. On the other side, a young man was protecting the girl behind him. In his hands, water balls were condensed one after another, which turned into sharp blades and cut the body of the sea ghost. Only because of the existence of these two people, these hundreds of ordinary people were able to survive for so long. Oh, a person with special abilities. Lu Ming was delighted to see this. Then, Lu Ming whistled towards the sky. The next moment, flocks of crows flew up and transformed into crow warriors, holding spears and bows and arrows, and began to harvest these Garo warriors. Bronze-level Homit's Crow Tengu. A crow warrior landed in front of Lu Ming and instantly turned into a giant crow. Lu Ming stood up and jumped onto the crow's back. Then, Lu Ming looked at Ling Momo and Wu Chu, and said thoughtfully, I don't keep idle people on my ship. You two better take up your weapons and show your worth. Otherwise, humph. Lu Ming snorted coldly, then flew away on a crow. What did he mean by those two hums? Chief Wu's face turned pale. He looked at Ling Momo and asked, will this guy throw us off the boat? It should not be possible. Ling Momo looked unhappy. She thought she was pretty, but facing Lu Ming, a guy who was ruthless when it came to beating women, Ling Momo didn't feel confident at this moment. Momo, your brother Wu usually takes good care of you. If it really doesn't work, will you sacrifice yourself? Get out. After discussing, the two men picked up the long swords and bows and arrows on the deck and joined the battle. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 6 Sea Ghost Crystal. Wine Fruit. Bone Fruit. Maritime. Hundreds of ordinary citizens connected the rafts together and fought together to resist the sea monsters emerging from the sea. Stop it. Stop it. Women and children stand in the back. Watch out, boy. They're coming. Oh my god. Whoever comes to save me, I will give him 100 million. Quote. The 5 bone spears in the hands of junior high school student Yang Xuan flew out simultaneously, instantly killing the 5 sea ghosts that had just rushed over. Question mark. Ding. After you complete the novice mission, you can choose to join any camp. Closing square bracket. You get points 12. What the hell? Yang Xuan was puzzled, but he did not stop his actions. Facing the sea ghost that had just rushed up, the bone spurs in his body burst out and he killed it with one blow. Then, Yang Xuan turned and looked at the other side of the raft. The water around college student Chu Yang condensed into several sharp arrows, which then burned and flew towards the sea ghost who wanted to climb onto the raft. Squeak. The sea ghost was instantly ignited by the sharp arrow and turned into ashes when it fell into the sea. Yang Xuan looked at Chu Yang and nodded, then walked to his side and said proudly, You are very good. You are qualified to be my subordinate. Serve me as your master, and I will lead you to the pinnacle of the world's strongest. Young man, don't be impatient. I'll give you a chance to think about it carefully. Yang Xuan, who is 1 meter tall, patted Chu Yang's shoulder in a mature manner. Perhaps because he couldn't reach him, he had to stand on tiptoe. This action made Chu Yang stunned. He turned to look at his sister blankly, only to see his sister Chu Ling whispering, Chunabu. Chu Yang suddenly realized, Just as the three of them were stunned, a large group of sea ghosts instantly climbed onto the raft. Hurry up. Stop chatting. Don't let them come up. Oh my god. There are more and more. What the hell are you doing? Hurry up, Xiao Yang. We can't hold on any longer. Quote. Yang Xuan looked coldly at the people behind him and uttered two words. Noisy. The way of bones is to be proud of the world. As long as I am the Bone Emperor, there will be heaven. How can a mere demon tribe be a match for the strong men of the Bone tribe? Look, I'm fighting a group of monsters alone. Quote. After saying that, Yang Xuan rushed towards the sea ghosts with a spear in hand. Only brother and sister Chu Yang and Chu Ling were left, and they could only smile bitterly at each other with complicated expressions. A few moments. Yang Xuan was exhausted and panting, kneeling on one knee on the raft. Chu Yang in front of him blocked the fatal blow for him. Little boy, why don't you take a break? Chu Ling consoled. Yang Xuan's face turned red, and he reluctantly stood up. Okay. At this moment, a huge ship slowly approached in the distance, and a group of crow warriors flew up from the ship, holding longbows in their hands. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Hundreds of sharp arrows instantly drove away the sea ghosts, causing everyone on the raft to exclaim and cheer. Great! Someone is here to rescue us. Oh my god, it's such a big cruise ship, I'm not afraid of running out of food and drink. Ha ha ha, it's worth it that we've been holding on for so long. Hey! Come and save us. Save us. It took so long to get here. Daxia's search and rescue is so slow, it really is. Quote. Suddenly, a giant Naga warrior jumped out of the sea and rushed towards the raft. Seeing this, everyone on the raft, including Chu Yang's siblings and Yang Xuan, turned pale in an instant. Changtian. Chirp. A crow that blocked out the sun descended from the sky. Lu Ming rode on the crow's back, tightly grasping the sword in his hand. He gathered the power of his soul and slashed at the giant Naga warrior with a knife. Boom! Cut it in two. The giant Naga warrior was instantly chopped into two pieces by Lu Ming. Lu Ming jumped from the crow's back and landed on the raft, just in front of Chu Yang, Chu Ling and Yang Xuan. Seeing Lu Ming appear, Chu Yang and the other two were excited. On the other hand, Lu Ming looked at the three people in front of him with an interested expression. Great, brother, you're finally here. Hey, let's go quickly and stop talking nonsense. Brother, please let this huge ship come over here. Quote. Seeing Lu Ming coming, a group of ordinary citizens surrounded him eagerly and urged Lu Ming. Lu Ming gave everyone an indifferent look, then turned around and whistled at the giant ship. Then, more than a dozen speedboats carrying yellow turban warriors rushed towards the raft. The speedboat also carried the fully armed Ling Momo and Wu Chu. Hey, why did you rescuers arrive so late? That's right, I was scared to death. I'm a girl, and there were so many monsters that scared me to death. Do you have cigarettes, brother? Give me two. I'm craving for cigarettes. Hey, I'm talking to you, are you deaf? Is this the quality of the rescue team now? Which unit are you from? My father works for the Provincial Education Bureau. Get me on the ship first, and I'll give you the money. Quote. Lu Ming was indifferent. Resisting the urge to draw the knife, he looked at the sea ghosts around him who were ready to make a move. This was the purpose of his coming here. Points. It's almost in my pocket. A group of crow warriors and yellow turban warriors began to officially encircle and suppress the sea ghosts. The crow warriors shot arrows in the sky, and the yellow turban warriors drove speedboats to harvest heads. When Lu Ming heard the sound of points being credited to his account, he felt unprecedented joy. Ding, you get Sea Ghost Crystal 1, points 31. Ding, you get Sea Ghost Crystal 1, points 64. Ding, you get Sea Ghost Crystal 1, points 25. Ding. Lu Ming sighed that the human wave tactic is only applicable at the beginning of the doomsday. As time goes by, the sea ghosts gradually upgrade. A level 1 sea ghost is not something that bronze level Homits can handle. Therefore, absorbing souls to enhance Homits' strength is also part of Lu Ming's plan. Not only will you get points, but after the sea ghost dies, it will also drop sea ghost crystals. Absorbing sea ghost crystals can enhance your physique, strength, and speed. Only after absorbing to a certain extent can you enter level 1. After a long time, as the last sea ghost fell down, the soul fire was completely absorbed by Lu Ming. This wave of sea ghosts was completely killed. Chu Yang and Chu Ling, brother and sister, were getting along peacefully. Chu Yang seemed a little exhausted and sat beside the raft to rest. Yang Xuan followed closely behind Lu Ming, staring at him with his bright eyes full of passion and excitement. Chief Wu collapsed on the speedboat with an axe in his hand. He killed more than a dozen sea ghosts this time, which changed Lu Ming's mind. Everyone on the raft was waiting impatiently and urged Lu Ming to hurry up. What are you waiting for? Let me get on board. No, this is how you do rescue. I want to complain. Complain. If my eldest grandson dies of hunger, I will definitely not let you go. Oh my, I see, are you planning to ask us for money? Money? What money? Why should we pay for voluntary rescue? Quote. Ling Momo, who was standing aside, was so angry at the attitude of these people that she was speechless and could only look at Lu Ming, who had a gloomy face. I see there's still a lot of room on the ship, why not? Lu Ming glared at her. Shut up. Are these people worthy of being on my Lu Ming's ship? The people around also understood the meaning of Lu Ming's words. No, what do you mean, brother? There are so many people waiting here, how can you not let us get on board? Who said this ship is yours? Can you please have some shame? This ship should belong to everyone. Quote. At this time, an old man stood up, leaning on a cane, walked up to Lu Ming and intended to give him a lecture. Young man, you are brave, and there is nothing wrong with that. Yang, are you paralyzed? Lu Ming blurted out. The old man was stunned by the rebuke, and then he turned his brows and said coldly, why are you speaking so rudely, young man? I am old enough to be your grandfather. Base. The next moment, Lu Ming's long sword was across his neck. You dare to scold me? Seeing this, the old man snorted coldly, I advise you not to make a mistake. The people around were also unhappy when they saw Lu Ming's attitude. If you have the guts, go ahead and chop him off. There are so many of us watching. If you chop him off, you'll be a murderer. You're just pretending to be a superhero. Just because you can kill a few monsters, you think you're a superhero. Fuck, this bastard is really a jerk. Quote. Ling Momo, who was standing aside, wanted to offer some advice, but for a moment she didn't know which side to advise. Okay. At this time, a fat and big-eared middle-aged man walked out. He looked at Lu Ming and waved his hands at him, signaling Lu Ming to put down the knife. Don't try to be so rude. Brother Lu has been in business for half his life and has seen everything. You don't want us to get on board, don't you just want money? Tell me the number. Brother Lu doesn't have anything else but money. But young man, I tell you, you won't get far this way, understand? You don't understand what I'm telling you. Forget it. Just name a number and we'll all get on board. Quote. As soon as these words were spoken, hundreds of ordinary citizens cheered and looked at Lu Ming with even more contempt. Boss Lu is generous. He is worthy of being a big businessman in Shanghai. He has a vision. My second uncle and third aunt's son works in the supervisory bureau. I will report this guy later. It's so infuriating. Humph, if I could beat him, I would definitely give this kid a black eye. Quote. Seeing that everyone was on his side, the old man became even more arrogant, looking at Lu Ming with contempt and said, Look, young man, this is the power of the masses. Learn to be a good person, this is not how you do it. I really feel sorry for your parents for not being able to. Before he could finish, the long sword in Lu Ming's hand trembled. Pat. A human head rolled to the ground and then rolled into the sea. The old man's body fell to the ground dejectedly. Ah, murder. Damn it. Catch him, he's a murderer. Fuck, this bastard, why don't we kill him together? There are so many of us, how can he kill us all? Quote. Looking at the old man's body, Lu Ming smacked his lips. I wonder how much the masses you mentioned can withstand from my attacks. Afterwards, Lu Ming pointed the long sword in his hand at everyone, and the yellow turban warriors and crow warriors instantly turned their weapons and pointed them at everyone. The raft suddenly became quiet. Damn, wouldn't it have been better if you had been so obedient earlier? Who among you still has objections now? Who wants to get on board? Chapter 7. Mall Points. Salvage Team. Demon Slayer Squad. Fuck, this cruise ship is so damn luxurious. The workmanship, the decoration, the style, luxury. Oh my god, I hope I can live here every day in the future. Quote. Big ship. On the deck. After boarding the giant ship, a group of ordinary citizens who were in dire straits seemed to have a sense of déjà vu like Granny Lu entering the Grand View Garden. Even if there are citizens who have ridden on a giant ship before, the feeling of riding on a giant ship in the doomsday is completely different. Quiet. Lu Ming stood on the deck of the giant ship and shouted coldly at everyone. Chu Yang and Yang Xuan followed closely behind him, like two henchmen. A group of yellow turban warriors and Kro Tengu lined up in 2 rows, and a group of ordinary citizens were caught up in them. Hearing this, everyone fell silent instantly. After all, they have seen Lu Ming's ruthless killing methods. As long as they can live peacefully on the boat, they can be satisfied in any way. Congratulations, everyone present. From today on, you will officially become a member of my Lu Ming bounty team. But, Lu Ming, don't keep idle people on my ship. I have no obligation to support you, but you can work in exchange for supplies and equivalent living conditions. Understand? Hearing this, everyone nodded. Fortunately, it was not that difficult to accept. After all, they were just beasts of burden even before the end of the world. It doesn't matter who you work for, as long as the boss pays you, everyone comforts themselves this way. You can look at them all. Now everyone can call up their own panel, and below the panel is the entrance to the mall. You need points to exchange for supplies. And to gain points, you need to hunt down sea ghosts, the monsters that attacked you before. Ask yourselves, are you worthy enough to fight a monster like this? Lu Ming said loudly. Upon hearing this, everyone present called up the control panel and checked the mall, only to see a dense array of products on it. 500 milliliters mineral water, 2 points. 1 serving of black bread, 2 points. Instant noodles box, 3 points. Ham sausage root, 5 points. Rum pour, 10 points. Salt bag, 20 points. Air-dried meat block, 25 points. Compressed biscuits block, 30 points. Fuck, these are the prices in Zimbabwe. Why are they so expensive? 20 points for a bag of salt. I'm so hungry. I want to have a piece of black bread. Everyone present was suddenly in an uproar, even Chu Yang and Yang Xuan who were standing behind Lu Ming couldn't help but shake their heads. Seeing this, Lu Ming snorted coldly. Are you scared by the price? You haven't seen the prices in the end of the world. A piece of brown bread, 100 points. I just want to ask you whether you want to eat or not. No. Then just starve. Lu Ming looked at the group of yellow turban warriors and pointed. Then, several yellow turban warriors brought a large table and paper and pen. Lu Ming sat on the chair and said loudly to everyone. Start now. All of you line up. Come and report to me. Hearing this, everyone began to surge forward, pushing and shoving each other to barely form a row. Boss, I'm a junior student of civil engineering. Work 8 hours a day, eat 3 meals a day, get 10 points a month, live in a 8-person room, and stay in the logistics team. Can you raise it a little, boss? No. Someone throw him overboard. Go, thank you boss for hiring me. Lu Ming curled his lips. At this stage, I haven't obtained the treasure chest yet. Before I leave the island, I can only support these civil engineering infrastructure maniacs in vain. You even negotiated the price with me. Who the hell did I talk to in the first place? Young man, some exercise is good for you. Next. Boss, I'm a chef. I've worked in Lei Garden for 10 years. Someone, take him to the kitchen and let him try a dish. If it doesn't taste good, throw him off the boat. Don't worry, boss. Our craftsmanship is absolutely fine. Boss, I studied meteorology. Join the operations team as a navigator, assist in sailing, work 8 hours a day, eat 3 meals a day, earn 150 points a month, live in a double room, and your salary will increase if you do a good job. Okay. Thank you, boss. Next. Boss, do you think I'm good looking? Lu Ming was at a loss. Someone, throw it down. Next. Quote. In the end, everyone present was in high spirits. They might not have earned much salary, but they were very excited to be able to live on the huge ship and no longer have to drift on the sea and live in fear of being attacked by sea ghosts. P.S. Except for the girl who tried to seduce the boss and was thrown off the ship. Closing square bracket. At this time, only Wu Chu, Chu Yong's siblings, and Yang Xuan were left. Lu Ming looked at Wu Chu, who had a nervous look on his face. Wu Chu himself knew that he did not meet any of the professional requirements that Lu Ming required. I have great respect for you, the police officers who serve the people. But now is the end. Brother. Chief Wu had a complicated and bitter expression on his face, but Lu Ming's next words made him rise from hell to heaven. But you proved your worth to me. I want to form a salvage team and let you lead it. What are you willing to do? Lu Ming looked at Wu Chu with a smile. Every day, a random wooden box will fall on the sea, and the supplies in the box are all random. There may be firewood, there may be food and fresh water, and there may also be sea ghosts. But these supplies are a considerable expense in the early stages of the apocalypse. Upon hearing this, Chief Wu was stunned. The next moment, he nodded quickly, extremely happy, and patted his thigh helplessly. Fuck. Bro. Oh no. Boss. I'm willing to do it. Very good. Work hard and do well, and I will make you a person with the same abilities as Chu Yong and Yang Xuan. Lu Ming promised sincerely. If Chief Wu is truly capable and loyal, what's wrong with giving him a devil fruit? If you want the horse to run, you have to feed it first. You can't fill your stomach just by making big promises, but unfortunately many bosses don't understand this. As for how to ensure Chief Wu's loyalty, Lu Ming already had an idea in his mind, but he still needed to practice to confirm it. This life will never be like the last one, where I devoted myself to my brothers and sister, but in the end, I was betrayed. Snort. In this life, I would rather let the world down than let the world let me down. Zhou Qi, Zhang Jingjing, I wonder where you two dogs are at this moment. Don't worry, I believe we will be able to meet soon, he. Upon hearing this, Chief Wu was shocked. How could he not see that Lu Ming, Chu Yong and Yang Xuan had some superpowers? As a current player who has never watched One Piece, Wu Chu has no idea what a devil fruit is. He had already regarded Lu Ming and the other two as some kind of cultivators or superheroes. Wu Chu was shocked. This superpower can be cultivated later. Thinking of this, a raging fire burned in Wu Chu's heart, and he found his life goal for the rest of his life. I will assign you 100 yellow turban warriors and 100 crow tengu. Lu Ming pondered. You will command them. The salvage team's affairs are entirely yours. You need to work 8 hours a day in 3 shifts and have 3 meals a day. I will give you 500 points a month and you can live in a single room on a high floor. If you do a good job, I will raise your salary. Chief Wu immediately agreed, okay. Afterwards, Lu Ming turned to look at Chu Yong, sizing up this strong and robust college student, feeling indescribable admiration and regret in his heart. Parahuman-type sake fruit. In his previous life, Lu Ming had naturally seen the owner of this fruit, who was a powerful rank 8 Navy officer, only 1 step away from rank 9. But unfortunately, it was not Chu Yong in front of him. In other words, if he had not intervened, Chu Yong would probably have died, and even they, the brother and sister, would have been buried in the sea together. But fortunately, Chu Yong met me in this life. Lu Ming turned his head and looked at Yang Xuan beside him, with even more pity in his eyes. Chu Yong's fate was also reflected in Yang Xuan. In the previous life, the owner of the superhuman bone fruit was an American who even killed several 8th-level Daxia warriors in the battle with Daxia. Unfortunately, he died at the hands of the Ghost King in the end. Lu Ming looked at Yang Xuan's stubborn but immature face, feeling indescribable pain and regret in his heart. I'm going to form a Demon Slayer Corps. Unless they accept a bounty, the Demon Slayer Corps' daily routine is to hunt sea demons. But you need to become bounty hunters. Has a problem. Chu Yong and Yang Xuan looked at each other, then looked at Lu Ming, and they both responded in unison. No problem. *2. It is good. The Demon Slayer Corps will be divided into 2 groups for the time being. One group will be led by you, Chu Yong. I'll give you 300 yellow turban warriors and 300 crow tengu. Team 2 will be led by you, Yang Xuan, and will also consist of 300 yellow turban warriors and 300 crow tengu. Okay. Asterisk 2. Lu Ming stroked his chin and pondered. I don't ask you to hand over the points and crystals you seized. But the devil fruit must be handed over. Is there a problem? Yang Xuan shrugged. Wu, no problem. If he feeds himself, the whole family will not be hungry. They have already eaten the devil fruit anyway, so what is the use of it? Chu Yang glanced at his sister Chu Ling beside him, and made a request to Lu Ming, if there is someone suitable for my sister. He cannot take care of his sister Chu Ling forever. In the doomsday, only with the power of the devil fruit can he barely protect himself. Lu Ming immediately understood what he meant, glanced at the delicate and blushing Chu Ling behind him, and nodded. If there are any suitable devil fruits you have seized, you can let your sister choose first. That's fine with me too. Chu Yang patted his chest and promised. Lu Ming smiled slyly. Not to mention food and drink, if you work 8 hours a day, I will give each of you an extra 8 points and 1000 sea ghost crystals every month. Chu Yang, your sister will go to the logistics department to help out, and she won't get any benefits, but the 3 of you can live on the upper floors and choose any room you want. I have 2 additional suggestions for you. First, your fruit abilities still have a lot of room for improvement. Use modern thinking to understand the nature of your abilities. Second, absorb the sea ghost crystal as quickly as possible and reach level 1 as soon as possible. Lu Ming, don't keep idle people. My bounty team, Lu Ming, will recruit more people with special abilities in the future. If you can't keep up with my pace, you will be left behind by me. I hope I can still see you when I turn around. Lu Ming's aura is intimidating. Hearing this, Chu Yang and Yang Xuan lowered their heads and fell into deep thought, but in a moment they looked up at Lu Ming, and the fighting spirit in their eyes became even more intense. HMPH, quite interesting. Lu Ming turned and left. When leaving, Lu Ming seemed a little confused, wondering if he had overlooked something. Never mind. But I'm so hungry, I'd better have a good meal first. At this moment, Ling Momo, who was locked in the cold storage room, curled up in the corner, her eyes red and tears streaming down her face. Damn Lu Ming. Damn lunatic. Damn. Wait till I turn over, and I'll give you a hard time. You damned fellow, you actually locked me up in a small dark room. I'm so hungry and cold. At this moment, among the hundreds of boxes of apples stacked next to her, one of them was gradually twisting, and suddenly it was covered with strange lines and became bright red. Chapter 8 Agricultural Cultivation. Absorbing Crystals. Daxia Navy. Half a month later, in the sea area of Demon City. Big ship. It was lunchtime, and dozens of survivors entered the public restaurant in an orderly manner and lined up in a long queue to receive food. On the sideboard, there is a bucket of seaweed, pickled mustard and egg drop soup with rich egg drops. The round white steamed buns are just out of the oven, still steaming. The main course is the sea fish that the salvage team caught by the way, fried on both sides until golden and fragrant. The side dish is fresh bean sprouts fried with pork lard. Green leafy vegetables are difficult to obtain in the sea. Even Lu Ming doesn't have much in stock. A portion of green vegetables in the store costs 50 points. Fortunately, Lu Ming collected a large amount of soybeans before the end of the world and piled them in the warehouse. One reason was to use them to produce the yellow turban warrior, and the other was that soybean sprouts were a rare green food at the end of the world. If you just soak the soybeans in water and give them a little boost, you can harvest a lot of bean sprouts. It can be said to be a must-have item for doomsday travel at home. At first, the survivors who were used to enjoying city life had quite a few complaints, but as they became proficient in the National Pirate System panel and interacted in public channels. 25k. I'm starving, I'm still floating on the sea, is there anyone here? Closing square bracket. Yan Junqing is not clear, excuse me. Which camp is better, the Navy, the pirates, or the bounty hunters? Has anyone watched One Piece? Please teach me. Closing square bracket. Desperate 31. Damn, has the upstairs killed a sea ghost? Awesome. Boss, please help me. Closing square bracket. Zonggang Saihai. Pirate group recruits. Urgently recruiting people with special abilities. Food and accommodation provided, location will be sent. Closing square bracket. Wa Kai Fu Gui, the Navy is justice. The former Da Shah soldiers officially form the Navy. I hope everyone will join the army. Closing square bracket. Question mark. Seeing that most people were still worrying about a piece of brown bread, the dozens of survivors on the giant ship immediately found their balance. So, I took a screenshot and posted it. Civil engineering madman. Oh, I eat big white steamed buns every day. I am sick of it. When can I eat rice? With picture. Shoo, I'm starving. The fish is too salty today. Isn't the chef from Lei Garden? Pay attention next time. With picture. Wang Meili loves beauty. I won't post what I eat and drink today, so I'll just take a hot bath. With pictures. Question mark. These posts have confused everyone in the public channel. Isn't this the end of the world? You guys are living too much these days. Crazy god of war. Fuck. Damn you. If you dare, stuff it in my mouth. Relationship terminator. No, how can you eat so well? I finally killed a sea ghost today. And I only got a piece of black bread in return. Young Master Tang, don't mention this crappy black bread anymore. It's hard and tastes terrible, and it makes my throat ache. Xinye Lu Zhejiang, can you save me? Let me get on the boat. I'll pay 1 million. I just want to be your cat. It's the end of the world, what's the use of money? Let me get on board. My dad is the municipal party secretary. Closing square bracket. Question mark. Looking at the replies one after another, dozens of survivors felt an indescribable sense of satisfaction. At this time, on the deck of the giant ship, rows of wooden boxes filled with soil, with young sprouts planted in the soil, occupied an entire deck in an orderly manner. Lu Ming, with a group of survivors who knew about agriculture, patrolled the deck. The leader was a man named Lu Weinong, a professor at an agricultural university in his 50s. He had a simple temperament, thick glasses, and his shirt was washed to a pale color. How is the progress? Lu Ming looked at the situation on the deck, nodded with satisfaction, and then looked at Professor Lu Weinong behind him. Lu Weinong stepped forward nervously and said humbly, "Boss, according to your request, we have selected several crops from the seeds in the warehouse and will give priority to their cultivation. The staple foods are corn and potatoes. For vegetables, it's cabbage and cherry tomatoes. Currently, we have cultivated 500 boxes of corn and potatoes, and a little less of cabbage and cherry tomatoes, 100 boxes each." After saying that, Lu Weinong stood there nervously, sweating and not daring to speak, looking at Lu Ming's expression, fearing that he would be dissatisfied in the slightest. Not only Lu Weinong, but all the survivors in charge of agriculture were also silent at this moment. After a while, "Not bad," Lu Ming murmured. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief instantly. They no longer had to worry about being thrown off the boat. Lu Ming looked at Lu Weinong seriously and said, "You still have to speed up the cultivation of agricultural products. The priority use rights of the soil and wood salvaged by the salvage team belong to you. Your most important task is breeding." Lu Ming took out a sparkling crystal. This is a sea ghost crystal, a type of energy crystal. I hope you can use this energy crystal in breeding to create a new variety. Hearing this, Lu Weinong took the sea ghost crystal from Lu Ming in shock, and held it in his hand, examining it carefully. The survivors behind him who were in charge of agriculture also crowded over to look at the sea ghost crystal. "Tisk, this is the sea ghost crystal. I heard about it from Chu Yang of the Demon Slayer Corps. It's amazing. It seems that some special energy is condensed inside. I don't understand this, but it feels warm to the touch. It's a rare thing." Lu Weinong raised his glasses and said to Lu Ming sincerely, "Boss, rest assured, we will work hard." Lu Ming nodded. "Very good, you guys work hard, and when we have an island as a base in the future, I will grant you a piece of land. If you achieve results, I will increase your salary tenfold. I, Lu Ming, am not a black-hearted boss." Hearing this, everyone was encouraged. Then, Lu Ming left the deck and returned to the top floor where he lived. At this time, Chu Ling, dressed elegantly, was standing at the door holding a record, waiting, with a group of yellow turban warriors guarding behind her. When she saw Lu Ming coming, Chu Ling's eyes flickered. "Boss." Lu Ming smiled slightly and walked straight into the room. The room is a two-story presidential suite. The large space is surrounded by floor-to-ceiling windows, from which one can observe the entire ship from all angles. Lu Ming collapsed on the sofa, picked up the can of Coke beside him, handed it to Chu Ling, and then drank it up himself. Belch. Chu Ling suppressed her smile and began to report, "Boss, the salvage team led by Chief Wu has salvaged a treasure chest today. What you need to know is a two-masted sailing ship, a small cannon, a martial arts book, lotus spear technique, and a treasure map of the location of the Xuanwang-level treasure chest. Other than that, the quantities of wood, food, fresh water, ore, etc. remain the same. Here is the quantity summary, please take a look." Lu Ming waved his hands and said weakly, "Forget it, just take a look at it, it doesn't matter." Lu Ming felt helpless. His luck shouldn't be so bad. How come he didn't have any devil fruits? Where did my luck go? Forget about the devil fruit, where is the island I want? Lu Ming sighed in his heart, but when he looked at the beautiful Chu Ling in front of him, he couldn't help but feel approval. As expected of a top student from Peking University and Tsinghua University, she can handle everything I ask her to do. It's worth my while to transfer her from the logistics department to be my secretary. Well, he is really a chosen worker. Chu Ling felt Lu Ming's approving gaze, her pretty face flushed, and she said seriously, "The performance of the Demon Slayer Corps today. The team led by my brother strangled 1,500 common sea ghosts, found no level 1 sea ghosts, and brought back 26 survivors who met the requirements. The second team led by Yang Xuan strangled more than 2,400 sea ghosts, and also did not find any level 1 sea ghosts. They encountered 2 pirate groups and brought back 2 survivors who met the requirements." "Well, is Yang Xuan okay?" Lu Ming asked. Chu Ling smiled bitterly and shook his head. "Both pirate groups have been captured. Will these people stay?" Lu Ming pondered. "Now that I don't have an island, I can't reclaim land for farming. Keeping these people around would just be a waste of food. Tell them to hand over all their points and sea ghost crystals, and get out of here." Lu Ming, don't keep idle people." "Okay, boss." "Okay, you guys go out, don't call me if there's nothing else." Then, he took Chu Ling away, and Lu Ming was the only one left in the empty room. Lu Ming sat cross-legged on the sofa with an indifferent expression. One by one, sea ghost crystals appeared and slowly floated around him. Then, Lu Ming's mind moved. Strands of strange energy were drawn from the sea ghost crystal and merged into Lu Ming's body, nourishing Lu Ming's body and soul. As strands of strange energy were drawn away, the sea ghost crystals were shrinking at a speed visible to the naked eye. Finally, more than 10 sea ghost crystals were completely absorbed, and Lu Ming breathed a sigh of relief. Shoo! At this moment, Lu Ming's face was flushed, and the energy in his body was surging. He felt that his strength had more than doubled. Even so, there was still a big gap between him and level 1. "Come again." Lu Ming looked excited, with a hint of madness in his eyes. No matter the navy, pirates, or bounty hunters, the higher the rank, the stronger the control over the devil fruit ability. There is no weakest devil fruit, only the weakest survivor. In his previous life, Lu Ming suffered from a lack of resources and never reached level 7 until his death. In this life, I must not only enter level 1 as soon as possible, but also become a level 9 expert and dominate my own destiny. A ruthless look flashed in Lu Ming's eyes, and he began to absorb the crystal energy again. At this time, on a huge brig, waves of smoke slowly rose up, and the middle-aged man looked at the major posts on the public channel with a serious face. After a while, he turned to look at the fat and big-eared boss Lu beside him. "You mean, these people live on giant ships?" The owner of the giant ship is a young man, and he has special abilities. Boss Lu immediately smiled flatteringly and responded, "How dare I lie to you? If that guy wasn't so strong, would we have watched him drive the ship away? I'm telling you, that ship is as tall as a 24-story building. I've been in business for half my life, but how could I not see that it was an ocean-going cruise ship? Who knows how this kid got it?" Hearing this, the middle-aged man snorted coldly, raised his palm, and instantly his palm turned into a white tiger paw, which smashed the table in front of him with one palm. "Strong. Can he be as strong as me?" I hate this kind of bastard who makes money from the country's misfortune the most. Let me teach him what it means to be strong. Is such a huge ship worthy of him? You did a good job. If what you said is true, I will not treat you unfairly. Boss Lu was overjoyed, but then a trace of resentment flashed in his eyes, and he thought to himself, you bastard, you won't let me get on the boat. I'll make sure you don't have a boat. Young man, you are still too young. Don't think that you can do whatever you want just because you have some skills in the apocalypse. No matter what time, the real ability lies in the ways of the world. Quote. Someone come here. The middle-aged man shouted angrily. Snapped. The ship door opened, and another middle-aged man came in and immediately saluted. Captain. Go, call 2 women in to help me and Boss Lu relieve our anger. Hearing this, the middle-aged man's face turned red. Captain, we are the Great Sha Navy now, it's not a good idea to do this. Bang. The Navy captain shouted angrily, if it weren't for my protection, they would have become food for those monsters. Old Wang, it's the end of the world. The end of the world must have its own rules. If it weren't for our Great Sha Navy, who would save those survivors still floating in the sea? Is it wrong for me to ask them to pay a little? The middle-aged man was silent. Go ahead and find 2 round ones. The Navy captain smiled evilly. General, you are still as strong as ever. Boss Lu flattered. Humph, I was braver back then. Then I'll have to see it for myself later. Ahahaha, just be understanding. Quote. The middle-aged man turned and left the cabin, his face terribly gloomy. Chapter 9 Coveted by all parties. Sold contract. Crisis sneaks in. The sea area of Demon City. The popularity of posts from the survivors of the giant ship increased, and for a time, almost everyone in the waters of the Magic City knew about the existence of this giant ship. More and more eyes fell on this piece of fat meat, and some people wanted to eat it all by themselves, openly or secretly. At this time, on a ghost abandoned ship, in the dark and humid space, 5 men sat around a round table, eating grilled fish with relish, while a dozen surviving women huddled in the corner of the cabin, shivering in their disheveled clothes. The leader, a hook-nosed man, took a big sip of wine, glanced at the post on the public channel, and sneered at the people around him. Old Han, go check where this ship is. That's right, why should we let men ride on a shabby boat? For these losers to enjoy life. Fuck, I'm so greedy after seeing this. I want to eat the big white steamed buns too. Damn it, I should have bought a better boat earlier. Quote. Hearing the shouting and cursing, the hook-nosed man laughed even more sinisterly. That's right, it's the end of the world. Whoever gets this good thing first gets it. The other side. An island. In the makeshift survivor base, countless people live in an orderly manner on the island. In the shacks built of wood, the survivors looked haggard as they held their bowls of rice. In the bowls there was only a bowl of thin rice porridge, 2 or 3 pickled mustard tubers, and a piece of black bread. Even so, compared with those survivors who are still drifting on the sea and may be attacked by sea ghosts at any time, this is already a luxury. Inside the survivor base, several former Daxia government officials and soldiers gathered here. At this time, it was already the Daxia Navy. Can anyone tell me where these people got their supplies? It's outrageous. We're running out of food, and they're wasting it like this. Humph, why not send out troops to encircle and suppress them? Quote. Boom. The leader tapped the table with his pipe, and everyone immediately quieted down. Everyone calm down. This is a time of great disaster. We must unite all our strengths. Although I don't understand pirates, Daxia is still Daxia. It is the duty of us, the soldiers of Daxia, to protect the common people, no matter before or after the apocalypse. Upon hearing this, all the senior executives nodded and echoed the leader's words. To be able to obtain so many supplies and manpower, the owner of this huge ship must be a talented person. This is the kind of talent we are lacking right now. Pull him over here. Pull him into our Navy camp. This way, we will be more confident in fighting against those pirate forces. Quote. What the leader said makes sense. Now there are several pirates with special abilities. Ordinary soldiers are really no match for them. I agree. Let's make an exception and let him join the Navy. Ha ha ha, the leader has foresight. He has joined the Navy, so shouldn't he donate those huge ships and supplies? This will solve our food crisis. What a wise leader. Hearing this, the leader took a puff of his cigarette calmly and gave a sly smile. Big ship. Lu Ming, who had not yet realized that he had become the center of heated discussion, had just absorbed the last sea ghost crystal. Call. The majestic soul power lingered around Lu Ming. His upper body was bare-chested, and sweat flowed slowly along the curves of his muscles. Lu Ming opened his eyes. At this moment, Lu Ming's eyes were imbued with the power of the soul, with a hint of charm and devilishness. Lu Ming now probably doesn't even have a piece of sea ghost crystal on him. Over such a long period of time, all the sea ghost crystals accumulated by the Yellow Turban warriors and Crow Tengu in the Demon Slayer Corps from hunting sea ghosts have been sucked up by Lu Ming. As a result, Lu Ming's strength increased by more than 10 times. At this time, Lu Ming estimated that he was only one step away from level 1. It is all thanks to the human wave tactics of the Yellow Turban warrior and Crow Tengu that so many sea ghost crystals were collected in a short period of time after the doomsday. If nothing unexpected happened, Lu Ming clearly remembered that in his previous life, it was about 3 months after the doomsday that someone from the 3 major camps broke through to level 3. After entering level 1, not only will your strength, soul, and physique be greatly improved, but you will also have further control over the abilities of the devil fruit. For example, now, while Lu Ming was absorbing the sea ghost crystals, he was also studying the power of the soul fruit. Based on what he saw and heard in his previous life, Lu Ming finally comprehended soul control, soul perception, and the most needed soul contract. Base. Lu Ming waved his hand, and the fruit knife on the coffee table not far away was pulled in front of him by the power of the soul. The next moment, Lu Ming's mind moved. Whoosh! Click! The fruit knife instantly cut through the TV and stabbed into the wall behind it. Seeing this, Lu Ming felt relieved. As long as you continue to strengthen your soul and become proficient in soul control, it will not be difficult for you to control objects at will. A fruit knife alone is not enough to affect the battle situation. But what if there are hundreds, thousands, or even tens of thousands of them? Moreover, once you have mastered the armament hockey, you can dye the throwing knives into black knives, and you will be invincible even when facing a group of natural-type sieges. Who doesn't know how to fly a sword? Lu Ming was proud. The other 2 methods are soul perception. The soul power is released outwards, covering the space centered on oneself, forming a soul domain, which can perceive everything that happens in the domain at the first moment. Although it may not be as good as the observation hockey, it is enough as an early means. As for the method of soul contract, Lu Ming can guarantee with confidence that it is a unique method that will allow him to dominate the ocean in the future. Lu Ming's mind moved, and a parchment scroll condensed by soul power appeared in front of him. Looking at the empty parchment scroll in front of him, Lu Ming smiled evilly, then turned his soul into a pen and wrote on it word by word for a long time. After a while, a soul contract came out. Lu Ming's exclusive labor contract. Party A, Lu Ming. Closing square bracket. Party B, _ 1. Starting today, Party B is hired as a lifelong employee of Party A. Before the contract expires, it cannot be terminated without Party A's consent. If there is any violation, the party has the right to take Party B's soul. 2. Party A is obliged to provide Party B with food, clothing, and children's education. 3. Party B must conscientiously and diligently complete the work tasks assigned by Party A and must not violate, resist, or cut corners. 4. If Party B betrays Party A, this contract has the right to take Party B's soul, including but not limited to the following. ? This contract takes effect immediately. The final right of interpretation belongs to Party A. ? Signing time. Daxia _, year _, month _ day. ... After writing the contract, Lu Ming felt relaxed both physically and mentally. This way, he would not make the same mistakes he made in his previous life again. Lu Ming smiled. Not bad, not bad. A labor contract is still necessary. After all, this is a formal company. I, Lu Ming, am definitely not a black-hearted boss. Then, Lu Mingman happily began to immerse himself in the work of mass-producing soul contracts. At the same time, big ship. Yang Xuan, a strong man from the Bone clan, had just finished a day's hunting mission and had just boarded the giant ship with his subordinates, including the Yellow Turban warriors, as well as the survivors rescued today. Chu Ling was wearing glasses and sitting at the table at the entrance, with his subordinates standing behind him, ready to take in these survivors, log in their information, and assign them rooms. Seeing Yang Xuan walking in front with his head held high, Chu Ling couldn't help but smile and immediately waved at Yang Xuan. Seeing this, Emperor Jiang came running over happily. Chu Ling took out the coke prepared on the side and handed it to Yang Xuan. Yang Xuan's eyes lit up. It's not that Lu Ming can't afford coke, but it's more cost-effective to let Yang Xuan drink milk. Ever since learning that Yang Xuan liked to drink coke, Lu Ming has strictly managed Yang Xuan's daily supply of coke. Even though there is a whole warehouse of coke in the warehouse, Yang Xuan may not be able to finish it in 3 to 5 years. But according to Lu Ming, drinking too much of this stuff will lead to calcium deficiency. It doesn't matter to others, but not Yang Xuan. Because he is the owner of the bone fruit. He has to drink milk. Therefore, every time Yang Xuan drank coke secretly, he hid from Lu Ming. Ling, you are really good. I leave the person to you. Yang Xuan drank coke happily, then left the new survivors behind and ran to eat. A first-grade kid who is cute, honest and can kill ghosts. What else do you want from him other than being a little bit childish? Chu Ling smiled helplessly and began to accept the new survivor. But at this moment, no one noticed that among the new survivors, there was a middle-aged man with a gloomy face and wearing a cloak, lurking in the crowd like a poisonous snake. Chapter 10 Exclusive Canteen. Navy Interception. Soldier Cao Wei. The sea area of Demon City. On a certain schooner, Navy Captain Cao Wei stood on the deck, smoking a cigar, waiting for news that his men had infiltrated the giant ship. Ding. Cao Wei glanced at the message and a ferocious smile appeared on his face. Hey, old Lu, look, isn't this done? Then, he shouted to the people behind him, we got the location. Get moving, let's go. At this moment, Boss Lu, who was standing behind him, also came forward flatteringly. Congratulations, Captain Cao. Old Lu, I can say with confidence that with this huge ship, you will definitely be the overlord on the sea in the future. Not to mention those pirates, even those old guys in the Daxia naval base dare not touch you. Instead, they have to look at your face. Ha 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 ha. Well said, Lao Lu. Navy officer Cao Wei smiled grimly, and his expression became terrifying again. These old guys are allowed to abuse their power for personal gain. They fired me for making a small mistake. It's fucked up. From now on, I will have a huge ship in my hands and control a lot of resources. Let's see what these old guys who claim to be the orthodox of the country can do to me. Ha ha ha, Captain Cao Wei is so mighty. Don't worry, Boss Lu, we won't forget you. Ha 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 ha. The two men had similar interests, but the deputy captain Wang Yongjun behind them subconsciously turned his face away and no longer looked at them. Big ship. Exclusive canteen. In this exclusive cafeteria, only those allowed by Lu Ming are qualified to enter and eat. Of course, the quality of the food is definitely several levels better than that in the public cafeteria. Now, on the entire ship, the only ones allowed are the bounty team reserves that Lu Ming favors. The table was piled high with all kinds of seafood, drinks and various dishes, including braised pork, 4 happiness meatballs, roasted chicken legs, even stir-fried green leafy vegetables. Chu Yang was holding a plate of seafood fried rice with plenty of ingredients, inhaling it madly. Wu Chief opposite him was holding a roasted chicken in each hand, eating with great relish. Yang Xuan was holding a braised pork elbow, gnawing on it non-stop. Coincidentally, Chu Ling walked into the cafeteria with her sleeves fluttering, looked at the 3 people who were eating and drinking crazily, and shook her head helplessly. Every time she entered the cafeteria, she felt like she was entering a refugee camp. Chu Ling ordered a meal and sat next to the 3 of them. Yo, Wu. Chu Ling Mei, are you done? Chief Wu's mouth was stuffed with roasted chicken. Ever since he started absorbing the sea ghost crystals, he felt that he could eat more and more every day, but his strength and physique were also getting stronger little by little. Yang Xuan didn't look up and concentrated on the braised pork elbow. When Chu Yang saw his sister coming, he consoled her distressed-edly, "Sister, Baji Baji, you still have to eat on time, Baji Baji." Chu Ling held his forehead and looked at his brother with bulging cheeks. "Hey, brother, can you please stop smacking your lips while eating?" Then, I heard 3 people shouting in unison. "Lord! Wu! Boss! Baji, Baji!" Chu Ling then turned around and saw Lu Ming, who looked hungry. After using up all the sea ghost crystals, Lu Ming finally walked out of the presidential suite. Seeing the table full of food, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. "Boss, you're here." Chu Ling was about to stand up, but Lu Ming patted her shoulder and pressed her back to her seat. sit down, and eat your own food. I won't be polite," Lu Ming said as he rolled up his sleeves. Lu Ming picked up a roasted lamb leg with his left hand and started showing off wildly. He picked up a huge 4 happiness meatball with his right hand and stuffed it into his mouth. At this moment, Lu Ming felt as if he could eat an elephant. While eating, Lu Ming blinked and looked at the 4 people in front of him, as if he felt something was wrong. "Hey, why do I feel like I'm missing something? What am I missing? Forget it. Never mind, let's eat first." Opening parenthesis question mark, closing parenthesis question mark. Lu Ming couldn't remember anything for a moment, so he had to concentrate on eating. After a while, 4 people sat down at the dining table with their big bellies, holding their stomachs and looking up at the sky. Hiccup. By the way, gather everyone on the ship on the deck later. Lu Ming touched his bulging belly and said to Chu Ling beside him. Chu Ling nodded. "Is there anything you need to announce?" Lu Ming was about to say something with a smile, but he heard a loud bang. The next moment, the huge ship slowly stopped on the sea. Who ordered the ship to stop? Lu Ming's eyes became sharp and he asked the 4 people in front of him. The 4 of them looked at each other blankly. Something happened. Yang Xuan, Chu Yang, go to the deck first. Yes. After saying that, a bone spear appeared in Yang Xuan's hand, and a water ball emerged on Chu Yang's body, and he immediately disappeared with the 2 of them. Chief Wu, you accompany Chu Ling to protect the others. Okay. No problem. After that, Chief Wu blew a whistle, and a group of yellow turban warriors and Crow Tengu appeared beside them. Lu Ming's eyes were cold, and he immediately rushed towards the cabin. Under the giant wheel. On the schooner, Admiral Cao Wei looked at the giant ship in front of him that was nearly 24 stories high, and his face became even happier. Ha 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 ha. Nice ship. What a great boat. Lao Lu. From now on, this giant ship will belong to me, Cao Wei. Ha 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 ha. Boss Lu said proudly. Captain Cao Wei, I didn't lie to you, did I? Only a big shot like you deserves a ship like this. Well said, Lao Lu. You have done a great job. You can choose any beauty on the boat. I will kill that guy and let you vent your anger at the same time. Hearing this, Boss Lu was overjoyed. Thank you, Captain Cao Wei. Boss Lu said bitterly in his heart, Humph, damn boy, you shameless bastard, I'm going to kill you now. I really want to see you kneeling in front of me and admitting your mistakes in pain. Ha 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 ha. Hearing this, Wang Yongjun, the Navy officer behind Cao Wei, looked at him unhappily. Old company commander, you can't do this. Do you still remember that you were a soldier of Daxia? You are violating discipline by doing this. Cao Wei sneered. Fuck discipline. We don't even have Daxia anymore, so where can we find discipline? Besides, I was dismissed from my post before the end of the world. I am no longer a soldier. I am now in the Great Sha Navy. Lao Wang, I'm only doing this because you used to be my subordinate. If you dare to talk to me like this again, don't blame me for destroying you. As he spoke, Cao Wei became even more ferocious. Navy officer Wang Yongjun looked extremely unhappy. Seeing this, Boss Lu came out to smooth things over. Hey, Deputy Captain Wang also needs to understand Captain Cao Wei's difficulties. Captain Cao Wei, don't be angry, let's get this huge ship first. Such a good ship, leaving it in the hands of that guy, isn't it a waste of resources? Humph, Navy officer Cao Wei finally calmed down. Old Wang, I know you don't want to, but you have to think about your daughter and son. Can they survive without supplies? Can you feed them just by killing sea ghosts with your bare hands? Put away your pathetic and childish thoughts. It's the end, Old Wang. Think about it for yourself. After saying that, Navy officer Cao Wei leapt up, stepped on the air, stood up and rushed to the deck of the giant ship. Check out our playlist for more amazing novels. Chapter 11 Ability Development. White Tiger Fruit. National Sinner. Ah, what happened? Why did the ship stop? Damn, there are boats down there. And so many wooden boats. Are we surrounded? Hey, what are you afraid of? Can they get up here? A wooden boat like this dares to intercept a giant ship. Isn't it courting death? Quote. At this moment, all the survivors in the cabins on each floor were startled by the sudden change and were in an uproar. Fortunately, Chief Wu and his men arrived in time and stopped the fight immediately. Everyone, return to your rooms. Don't run around. He's causing trouble on purpose. I'll throw him off the boat right now. Behind Chief Wu stood a group of yellow turban warriors, pointing their knives at everyone, and everyone ran back to their rooms. On the deck. As soon as Yang Xuan and Chu Yang arrived on the deck, they saw someone rushing up from under the boat. The two looked at each other, and their eyes became more alert. It looks like he's a person with special abilities. Xiao Yang, be careful. Don't worry, I'm invincible. After saying that, Yang Xuan stepped on the water ball controlled by Chu Yang. Bone spears emerged around him, and rushed towards Cao Wei of the Navy. Child. Fuck, you look down on me. Navy Cao Wei shouted angrily. He clenched his right fist and swung it towards Yang Xuan. The moment the two men made contact, the gun and the fist collided. Bang! The huge force knocked the two men back, and they both landed on the deck at the same time, but there was a hint of surprise in each other's eyes. Is this child also a user of special abilities? This damn guy didn't tell the truth. Navy officer Cao Wei frowned and glanced at Boss Lu under the boat. Yang Xuan looked at the bone spear with a crack in his hand and felt a little displeased. Destroy my artifact. You must die. What a mess, kid. If you don't want to die, call your parents out. Otherwise, I will not be strict with my men. After saying that, Cao Wei's right hand turned into a white tiger paw. Without waiting for a moment, Yang Xuan rushed up first. The bone spear in his hand suddenly became huge and pierced towards Cao Wei. Cao Wei crossed his tiger paws and blocked the giant bone spear. In an instant, Cao Wei stepped on the air, dodged 3 or 2 times, and actually rushed in front of Yang Xuan. He gathered power with his tiger palm and was about to slap Yang Xuan on the back. Careful. Seeing this, Chu Yang shouted hurriedly, and the alcohol around him turned into a sword and flew towards Cao Wei. But the next second, white bone spurs suddenly burst out from Yang Xuan's body and pierced through Cao Wei's tiger paw in midair. What the hell, a dragon turtle? Chu Yang, who was about to help, was startled and blurted out. Cao Wei was shocked. Several bloody holes were pierced on his tiger paw, and blood was dripping. He suddenly retracted his strength and jumped back to his original position. Humph. Little tricks. Yang Xuan snorted coldly. At this moment, he was like a mobile building covered with orc spikes, with his body covered with extremely sharp white bone-like spikes. Seeing this, Cao Wei pouted and cursed. Damn it, is this guy a hedgehog? Yang Xuan raised his eyebrows proudly. This was a new skill he had developed. Secret transmission of corpse bone vein bone hyperplasia. Ever since listening to Lu Ming's advice, Yang Xuan has been studying how to develop his abilities, until he thought of Kimimaro in Naruto, and then he came up with an idea. Cao Wei saw the mockery in Yang Xuan's smug eyes and immediately became even angrier. But reason still prevailed. He ignored Yang Xuan and turned to look at Chu Yang, who was playing with a water ball on the side, revealing a ferocious smile. Boom, boom, boom. After 3 steps in the air, Cao Wei appeared in front of Chu Yang, intending to capture him in one fell swoop, and then force the owner of the giant ship to show up. Chu Yang felt dissatisfied when he saw Cao Wei turn to attack him. What? Do I look weaker than Yang Xuan? In an instant, a ball of water appeared between Chu Yang and Cao Wei, and with a boom sound, the ball of water exploded. The water mass turned into mist and floated in the air. After Cao Wei dodged the exploding water ball, he saw the smile on Chu Yong's lips and couldn't help but frown. Finally, a light blue flame condensed in Chu Yong's left hand, and a light yellow flame condensed in his right hand. The two colors of flames condensed into an emerald-colored flame lotus. Buddha's wrathful wine lotus. Go with. Chu Yong shouted coldly, and the flaming lotus instantly flew towards Cao Wei. Seeing this, Cao Wei intuitively realized that he must not take this ordinary-looking lotus head-on. So Cao Wei walked in the air to dodge, but no matter how he dodged, the fire lotus seemed to be targeting him and followed him closely. Boom! The fire lotus exploded, bursting out into a huge emerald lotus. After the flames dissipated, Cao Wei fell from the flames tremblingly, with most of his clothes burned. He looked at Chu Yong and Yang Xuan with his eyes wide open and gnashed teeth. You ate the flame fruit. What the hell is this ability of yours? Cao Wei felt like his brain was not enough. Chu Yong smiled, and water balls floated in his hands. Guess what? The flame fruit. Even dogs won't eat it. Impossible. You clearly activated the flame. Do you think I'm blind? Cao Wei shouted angrily. Chu Yong looked at him with a puzzled look on his face. When ethanol is completely burned and reacts with oxygen, a light blue flame is produced. Incomplete combustion produces water, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and a light yellow flame. Didn't you learn chemistry in junior high school? Yang Xuan, a junior high school student standing nearby, couldn't help but nodded, looking at Cao Wei with a hint of contempt in his eyes. Fuck your junior high school chemistry. I forgot it a long time ago. Cao Wei cursed inwardly. The next moment, Cao Wei was about to curse, but he felt dizzy, his mind was in a trance, and his heartbeat began to accelerate. In a trance, Cao Wei staggered a little. Hey, what's wrong with you? Why do you look like you're drunk? Chu Yong looked at Cao Wei with a smile. What did you do? Cao Wei shouted angrily. I didn't do anything, Chu Yong confessed. Of course it was impossible that nothing was done. After the water ball exploded, a large amount of strong liquor turned into wine mist floating in the air and entered Cao Wei's body under Chu Yong's control. At this time, Cao Wei looked almost the same as if he had drunk dozens of kilograms of strong liquor. The only strange thing is that Cao Wei can still stand and talk, which makes Chu Yong feel very surprised. Roar! What? A loud roar resounded throughout the entire deck of the giant ship, and Cao Wei instantly turned into a white humanoid tiger. I am the one who ate the animal-type mythical beast-type white tiger fruit. I am destined to be the king of the apocalypse. You two bastards who haven't even grown all their hair yet, you still want to teach me. Boom! A wave of murderous aura surrounded Cao Wei, and his body instantly became tall and strong, like a real god of war, white tiger. Cao Wei's eyes were as fierce as a tiger's, revealing a fierce light. In an instant, Cao Wei disappeared, and just when Yang Xuan and Chu Yong came to their senses, Cao Wei appeared behind them. Just heard a bang sound. Cao Wei swung his tiger palm and Yang Xuan was suddenly knocked to the side. After rolling for more than 10 meters, he barely stopped. Puff! Yang Xuan spat out blood, the bone spurs on his body shattered one by one, even the bone spear in his hand broke, his eyes were full of disbelief. Seeing this, Chu Yongtang stepped forward, but was knocked to the ground by Cao Wei with the same method. The two men vomited blood and were unable to get up. Looking at Cao Wei approaching step by step, they felt a sense of crisis descending on them. Humph! Waste! Cao Wei stood in front of them and snorted condescendingly. Do you think you can roam the ocean just by eating a devil fruit? Just because you have some abilities, you think you are invincible. You think that just because the world is ending, you scumbags can turn things around. You ridiculous bastard. I've been in the army for 20 years and have endured more hardships than the food you eat. I've shed more blood and sweat than the water you drink. You don't give anything. How can you be stronger than me? Just based on your ridiculous daydreams. Humph. The end of the world is not for weaklings like you. It should be a playground for the strong only. In your next life, remember to show off again when you have the strength, you bastards. As he spoke, Cao Wei gathered the power of his tiger palm and suddenly slapped towards the two of them. Base. The falling tiger paw was cut off by the sword light. Cao Wei opened his eyes wide and dodged the sword light that was coming along. A teasing voice came from behind him. Hee hee. It's not your turn to teach our child a lesson. Cao Wei. It's really great to see you here. Cao Wei turned his head suddenly and saw Lu Ming slowly walking towards him, carrying an undercover agent who was as dead as could be. Do you know me? Cao Wei looked at Lu Ming with a puzzled look. Know you? Ha ha ha, I know you very well. Lu Ming stared at Cao Wei in front of him with a gloomy expression. Tier 9 Navy White Emperor Cao Wei. In the previous life, he was one of the traitors who betrayed the Daxia Navy. No, he is one of the traitors who betrayed the entire Daxia. Cao Wei, you ask me why I know you. Because you are a sinner. A sinner of Daxia. In this way, I can kill you with one knife and avenge the old captain. Lu Ming was disappointed. Changtian. The fat bird flew over and turned into a long sword. Lu Ming held the sword in his hand and stared at Cao Wei with a fierce look. Chapter 12. Equally matched. Martial arts. Moon step. Giant wheel dragon. On the deck. Pat. The completely killed undercover agent was thrown aside by Lu Ming. The reason why the location was exposed was because of this undercover agent. He also knocked out the yellow turban warrior in the cab, which led to the ship stopping. So after the accident, Lu Ming rushed to the driver's seat first, found him, and killed him on the spot without any nonsense. Cao Wei transformed into a giant tiger in human form, with murderous aura surrounding him. He looked at Lu Ming hesitantly, but no matter how hard he thought, he could not figure out when he had any encounter with this young man in front of him. Lu Ming stood with his sword across his body, his cold eyes staring at Cao Wei quietly, like an abyss of cold and deep water with no bottom to be seen, but gloomy and creepy. Call. A gust of sea breeze whistled past, and the soul power in Lu Ming's body was like a gauze spreading on the ground, instantly covering an entire deck. Immediately, the three people present, Cao Wei, Yang Xuan and Chu Yang, were immediately submerged in the vast soul force like a tidal wave. The breathing, heartbeat, movements, and even the murderous intent hidden deep in the hearts of the three people were all perceived by Lu Ming's soul power. Even if Lu Ming closed his eyes at this moment, everything that happened on the deck would be reflected in his mind. Suddenly, Cao Wei felt a sense of crisis. He didn't know what had just happened, but the sense of crisis in his heart gradually grew. Looking at the low-key and cold young man in front of him, he was still frightened. The next moment, anger replaced everything in Cao Wei's heart. As a veteran soldier who has been in the army for 20 years, Cao Wei has always been admired by everyone in the army with his outstanding family-inherited boxing skills. Even though he personally has no sense of morality. Even so, he often violated military discipline. But as a professional soldier, Cao Wei would never allow himself to bow to a frail young man like Lu Ming. This is undoubtedly a shame for him. In the blink of an eye, they both set off. Without any warning or opportunity, in a flash, the two men's palms and swords collided with each other, causing a huge vibration. Boom! The huge ship trembled. Cao Wei's tiger palm was ferocious, and was surrounded by wisps of murderous aura that could cut gold and jade. The 5 claw marks kept tearing at Lu Ming's vital parts, as if to tear Lu Ming in half. But under the influence of Lu Ming's soul perception, every movement of Cao Wei seemed to be slowed down dozens of times. After absorbing a large amount of sea ghost crystals in seclusion, Lu Ming's physique has undergone earth-shaking changes, and his speed has also increased by several levels. With this kind of pulling, it is easy for him to dodge Cao Wei's tiger claws. On the other hand, Lu Ming has the sky in his hands. A huge amount of soul power was condensed on the blade. With the help of the combat experience accumulated in 2 lifetimes, Lu Ming slashed with his sword, and rays of sword light slashed towards Cao Wei's vital points. But Cao Wei, relying on the advantage of the animal-type fruit, quickly dodged every blade from Lu Ming. Even those that he could not dodge were torn apart by the tiger's claws. The two were evenly matched, their figures constantly flashing on the deck. Oh my god, Boss Lu is too strong. Is this really a scene that a human can create? My lord, it is so terrifying. Such scenes made Yang Xuan and Chu Yang, who were watching on the spot, dumbfounded, and cold sweat ran down their foreheads. Especially Chu Yang. He always thought that the gap between him and Lu Ming was not that big. But at this moment, I witnessed Lu Ming's true strength. Chu Yang's mentality collapsed. Ever since he brought his sister on board the ship, Chu Yang, as a brother, has been worried whether his beautiful sister would be favored by Lu Ming. Once Lu Ming forces Chu Ling, Chu Yang, as the eldest brother, will naturally step forward, even if Lu Ming has given them a stable life. Even if you, Lu Ming, are strong. But I, Chu Yang, am definitely not a scum who sells his sister for fame. Chu Yang was wary at first, but after observing for a while, he found that Lu Ming was only interested in cultivation, which made him relax. To be honest, there were as many as 1,000 or 2,000 survivors on the entire ship, including many young and beautiful women. However, many of them tried to seduce the captain, and none of them escaped the tragic fate of being thrown overboard. It was not until Chu Ling became Lu Ming's secretary that Chu Yang's worries started to build again. Fortunately, nothing happened. This not only made Chu Yang mistakenly believe that. One reason was that Lu Ming was afraid of him. After all, they were of similar age and both possessed devil fruits. Who could be stronger than who? Even if you, Lu Ming, were really strong, if I, Chu Yang, risk my life, can you be safe and sound? The second reason is that Chu Yang can see that Lu Ming is an ambitious man. In order to win people's hearts, he will not do anything too extreme to his sister who has special abilities. In this way, Chu Yang felt at ease. However, after seeing this scene today, Chu Yang suddenly realized that he had been overthinking for such a long time. The clown turned out to be me. Chu Yang felt bitter. Looking at Lu Ming fighting with Cao Wei, he couldn't help feeling a little ashamed. And, in contrast, Yang Xuan, who was still a junior high school student, had a much simpler idea. "Ah, my lord, who is so powerful, please kill him." Yang Xuan's face was pale, with blood still on the corners of his mouth, but as he looked at Lu Ming's figure, his eyes seemed to be burning with a raging fighting spirit. Seeing this, Chu Yang felt ashamed. So fierce and powerful. Cao Wei's face was gloomy as he saw that he and Lu Ming were in a stalemate. He suddenly shouted. Behind him, a white tiger shadow like an ancient evil god slowly condensed, and in a trance, a ferocious white tiger slapped Lu Ming. Lu Ming remained calm as usual, holding up the sky in his hand. Changtian. Chirp. Changtian let out a series of wails, and suddenly turned into a huge blade that could hold up the sky. The surging spiritual power in Lu Ming's body was concentrated on it. Lu Ming shouted coldly, "Kill!" Bang! The giant blade of creation collided with the ancient evil god, and the entire ship was shaken by the huge impact force and shifted across the sea level. "Come out!" Tiger bites the sword. In the smoke, Cao Wei's angry roar rang out, and the shadow of the ancient evil god white tiger slowly condensed, and then a 2-meter-long sword came out of the tiger's mouth. When the tiger bite sword fell directly on the deck, and actually penetrated the deck deeply and stuck into the ground. Cao Wei suddenly jumped out from the smoke, drew out the tiger bite sword, and stepped into the air towards Lu Ming. Seeing this, Lu Ming frowned. One of the Navy's 6 styles, the moon step. You're lucky. Lu Ming recognized the moon step immediately. He was able to use it skillfully in his previous life, but he couldn't perform it in this life no matter how hard he tried. Therefore, Lu Ming has been waiting for the Demon Slayer Corps to get a copy of the 6 skills from a treasure chest when hunting sea ghosts. But unfortunately, the doomsday comes too soon. So far, there has been no Tier 1 sea ghost. All treasure chests are basically ordinary wooden boxes, and even red-level treasure chests and orange-gold level treasure chests are hard to find. Treasure chest levels from low to high: black wood, scarlet red, orange gold, dark yellow, emerald green, sky blue, sea blue, dark purple. But what kind of fucking luck is this? I worked hard for a month and a half, and what I got was just garbage. Cannons, bread, soil, wood. What use do I have for these things? I'm so damn unlucky. Logically speaking, it shouldn't happen. In my previous life, I was able to get some good stuff from low-level treasure chests. But why have I become so unlucky since my rebirth? Who can give me a reasonable explanation? Where's my martial arts? Where's my devil fruit? Where is my island? Where is my Xuanwu weapon? You should give me one. Ah, if I knew who the fuck was behind me. I'll kill him. Humph. I have nothing, why do you have the right to use the 6th skill? Thinking of this, Lu Ming's eyes became even colder. Tiger sword. God's fierce. Cao Wei held the sword in both hands, and the tiger bite sword fell from the sky, slashing towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming held up the long sky and blocked in front of him, revealing the flaw on his left half. Cao Wei's eyes flashed with ferocity, but the corners of his mouth smiled, and he thought to himself. "Ha, I finally caught you in the act. Suffer to death." After Cao Wei slashed with the sword, he turned around and let go of the tiger bite sword. He gathered the sharp edges of his tiger palms and suddenly reached out towards Lu Ming's heart. Just when Cao Wei thought he had succeeded, Lu Ming smiled strangely. "Tiger bite sword, I will give you life." Oh, ouch. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming poured his soul power into the tiger bite sword. After the light faded, a 3-meter-tall giant tiger appeared in front of the two. Boom! With a flick of the tail, Cao Wei was whipped away by the tiger's tail that was like a long whip. Bang! Cao Wei crashed into the wall, his internal organs suffered severe shock, and blood spurted out of his mouth instantly. Puff! Cao Wei spurted blood and knelt on one knee. He suddenly raised his head and looked at the tiger bite sword in front of him, which had turned into a 3-meter-tall giant tiger. "Tiger bite sword, what the hell are you doing?" Meow. At this time, the 3-meter-tall tiger stood beside Lu Ming like a docile cat, lowering its head and rubbing against Lu Ming. When looking at Cao Wei, Hu Yaojian roared in displeasure. "Ouch!" Cao Wei was silent. "Silence is Cambridge tonight. Tiger bite sword. Damn it, get over here. Ouch! Tiger bite sword. Look carefully, I am your master. Ouch! Tiger bites the sword. Be good and obedient. Ouch! Tiger bites the sword. You fucking." Seeing that taming was fruitless, Cao Wei stared at Lu Ming with gritted teeth. "What the hell did you do? What the hell is this ability of yours? If you have the guts, give the sword back to me." Cao Wei shouted at Lu Ming, but he was helpless and could not defeat him. Even his life weapon had become someone else's little cat. When has Cao Wei ever suffered such humiliation in his life? "Pharaoh, do it." Seeing this, a figure was seen flying up to the deck from under the ship using the moon step and then going straight into the cabin. When Lu Ming saw the figure, he actually felt that it looked familiar. He was about to intercept him but was stopped by Cao Wei on the deck. I saw Cao Wei staring at me, with a smile and amusement on his face. The next moment, hundreds of Navy men suddenly rushed up from the bottom of the ship, stepping on the moon steps, and landed on the deck to besiege Lu Ming. "Boy, do you think everything will be fine once you find the undercover?" Cao Wei glanced at the undercover who was pulled out of the cab by Lu Ming not far away. After hearing Cao Wei's words, Lu Ming remained silent. "Boy, now you either surrender or let me do whatever I want. Or get off the boat and give me this ship. Otherwise, I'll have someone blow up your ship. Even if I can't get it, you can forget about getting it. What do you think? Are you angry? Ha 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 ha. But I'm very happy." Cao Wei smiled sinisterly, and the Navy men behind him also looked at Lu Ming's arrogant expression. Suddenly, Lu Ming's figure flashed. Blade beams slashed towards the sailors, and screams were heard instantly. Lu Ming was about to escape and get into the cabin. However, a tiger claw chopped down and blocked Lu Ming. "Want to run? With me and so many men here, how can you run away? I'm telling you, kid, make your choice quickly. Otherwise the ship will be destroyed. I advise you to jump off the boat." Cao Wei and a group of Navy men blocked Lu Ming's way, trapping him on the deck. Even Yang Xuan and Chu Yang, who were seriously injured, were targeted. For a moment, everyone was in a crisis. Seeing this, Lu Ming stopped, and the Changtian in his hand recovered, and the fat bird flew to his shoulder with a click. Cao Wei was overjoyed and thought that Lu Ming had no choice but to compromise. "Ha ha ha, that's right. Jump down, and your men will still have a chance to survive. Don't worry, kid, I will make good use of this huge ship for you. Jump quickly, otherwise the ship will be destroyed. Ha ha ha, kid, so what if you're strong? In this day and age, the one who laughs last is the winner." Amid Cao Wei's teasing, Lu Ming curled his lips and murmured in a low, hoarse voice, "Humph. No matter in the last life or now, I hate being threatened the most." Lu Ming glanced at Cao Wei meaningfully, then squatted down, stroked the cold deck with one hand, and said sadly, "Travel across the 4 seas and roar into the sky." Longshang. Chapter 13. dragons and horses are everywhere. Grudges from past lives. Self-created martial arts. Travel across the 4 seas and roar into the sky. Longshang. Question mark. Ding. You created a rainbow-level homage. Closing square bracket. Question mark. Longxiang. Roar. A roar resounded through the sky, and could be heard as far as 100 miles away. Buzz. Boom. A pair of black wings stretched out step by step, like a curtain covering the sky, covering half of the sea. As they flapped, gusts of wind blew up, and waves blew up layer by layer, slapping together and making a loud noise. Cuu. Bang. 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 On the sea, a dragon horse with a pair of black wings rose into the air, stepped on the void, flapped its wings, and galloped across the entire sea area of the Demon City. After a while, the dragon horse landed cross-legged on the sea. Rainbow-class Homitz dragon. Level. None. Species. Giant ship. Form. Dragon, giant ship. Abilities. Dragon breath, soaring, entering the sea. Call. 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 Ryoma looked back. High-temperature heat waves accompanied by white-hot air gushed out of the black dragon horse's mouth. The dragon's head slowly lowered and approached Lu Ming behind it. Lu Ming's figure was reflected in the dragon's golden eyes. It looked carefully at the man who gave it life, as if it wanted to imprint the man's appearance on its soul. Question mark. Thank God. Question mark. My name is Longxiang. Question mark. Waiting for your dispatch. This was the second time after Changtian that Lu Ming split his soul and created the rainbow-level homage. Lu Ming reached out and stroked Longxiang's head, his face slightly pale. This time, creating the rainbow-level homage consumed a lot of soul power, causing him to overdraw his soul. However, looking at the huge creature in front of him and under his feet, Lu Ming felt that all his efforts were worth it. Before the end of the world, giant ships are their basic base. Therefore, Lu Ming would not allow any mistakes. Lu Ming, Cao Wei, Yang Xuan, Chu Yang, and a group of Navy officers were all standing on the back of Longxiang at this moment. The belly of Longxiang formed a space of its own, so much so that the people in the cabin did not even notice any changes. They only felt that the giant ship seemed to be able to fly. Longxiang, capture the guy who invaded the cabin. Lu Ming ordered. Question mark. Follow your orders. Longxiang closed his eyes and immediately immersed himself in the thought. Inside the cabin, Wang Yongjun, a sailor who had just invaded, was looking for the cockpit in a hurry, trying to catch a survivor to ask for directions. Suddenly, my feet sank. I saw my left foot sinking into the ground as if it was stuck in a swamp, and the ground had turned into sticky flesh. What is this? Wang Yongjun was puzzled and immediately pulled his foot away, starting to dodge using the moon step. However, the changes in the cabin were getting faster and faster. The walls all around turned into flesh and tentacles began to attack him. In a blink of an eye, he was surrounded by the flesh-like walls. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. More and more tentacles stretched out from the wall. Even though he knew the moon step, one of the 6 skills, he was still an ordinary person. Fuck. Ooh. After persisting for a while, he was finally trapped by the tentacles and tied up like a dumpling. My lord, the man has been caught. Thank you for your hard work. Lu Ming pondered for a moment. Recover. Question mark. Promise. The next moment, the dragon horse soared into the air and the huge ship fell into the sea. Bang. The loud noise created high waves that hit the deck, splashing seawater everywhere, which woke up the people who had collapsed on the ground. This of course includes Cao Wei. To Cao Wei, everything that had just happened seemed so unreal as a dream that it even made him, the owner of the white tiger fruit, stand there in a daze. What on earth was that monster just now? Ah, was I dreaming just now? Boss, why don't we run away? How can we possibly be a match for that monster? The Navy men came to their senses and looked at Lu Ming's face. The arrogance and defiance from before were gone. They moved closer to Captain Cao Wei and kept urging him to retreat quickly. Enough. Shut up, everyone. Cao Wei finally came back to his senses from the shouting of his men. He gritted his teeth and looked gloomily at Lu Ming, who was not far away. His face seemed like water could drip out. After several fights, he now knows very well that he is no match for Lu Ming, but his rebellious character does not allow him to admit defeat. Damn it, damn it, damn it. What kind of devil fruit did this kid eat? Oh shit. I ate the broken fruit too, but why can't I take him down? How can this boy have such strong strength? How can you own a ship that even I envy? Why do you do that? What political officials, what business tycoons, what entertainment stars? In front of me, Cao Wei, they can only kneel down and lick my shoes. Damn you bastard, how dare you look at me like that? I swear, I will use any means necessary to make you kneel before me and cry and beg for mercy. I'll make you regret defying me. I'll make you regret defying me. I'll make you regret why you didn't ask me to take over this huge ship today. Cao Wei glared. His eyes seemed to be burning with rage, his tiger paws clenched into fists, making a creaking sound, and he stared at Lu Ming with bloodshot eyes. Finally, Cao Wei gritted his teeth and uttered 3 words. Let's retreat. Cao Wei said the most aggrieved words in his life, and he also remembered Lu Ming's appearance in his heart. Enjoy this short life, kid. Next time we meet, I will kill you with my own hands. Humph, I, Cao Wei, always keep my word. Cao Wei snorted coldly, turned around and wanted to leave. But a sharp blade suddenly appeared behind him and chopped down his feet. The blade mark under his feet was like the last straw that broke the camel's back. It pierced Cao Wei's mind. Grass. What on earth do you mean, kid? Cao Wei glared at Lu Ming and shouted, his mighty power shaking the deck. I'm already planning to let you go, what else do you want? Lu Ming looked at him with a smile, want to leave? Do you think I'm a tourist cruise ship? You intercepted my ship and even injured my employees, and now you just leave like that? Do you think this is a trip you can just go on at any time? Yang Zunchiyang, who was still vomiting blood, silently gave a thumbs up. Cao Wei laughed in anger, oh, what else do you want? It's a great favor for me to let you go. Don't be so shameless. Could it be that you really want to kill me? I'm going to make this clear today. Even if you have some skills, you are not qualified to kill me. Do you know who I am? Do you want to go against the entire Daxia? Enough. Cao Wei, you are not worthy of mentioning Daxia. Lu Ming frowned and shouted angrily, he really couldn't bear to listen any longer. Recalling the bits and pieces of his previous life, Lu Ming's hatred for Cao Wei instantly surged in his heart. In his previous life, when Lu Ming was still drifting on the sea, he endured hunger and the fear of sea ghost attacks every day. At this time, someone saved him from the sea ghost, and it was this person who taught Lu Ming like a teacher and a father, teaching him how to survive in the apocalypse, how to fight with a knife, how to fight sea ghosts, and the 6 styles of the Navy. This person is Lu Ming's old captain in his previous life. A middle-aged man in his late 40s. He is also an old father who has lost his son and daughter and can only live with pain for the rest of his life. The source of all this pain comes from the person in front of Lu Ming. Cao Wei. In the previous life, before the end of the world, the old captain and Cao Wei were originally soldiers of Daxia, and Cao Wei was his old superior. After the doomsday, the old captain, with his frail and sick children, struggled to survive alone, but he met the powerful Cao Wei and was recruited by him. At first, Cao Wei was polite to the old captain's family, but as time went on, Cao Wei's true nature gradually revealed. One day when the old captain was out hunting sea ghosts, Cao Wei, after drinking, became lustful and raped the old captain's daughter. The old captain's frail and sick son was slapped to death by Cao Wei in order to save his sister. When the old captain came back, he saw his son who had already died and his daughter who had fainted after being raped by Cao Wei. The angry old captain immediately planned to kill Cao Wei, but unfortunately he was no match for him and was seriously injured by Cao Wei, so he could only stop at the 8th level for the rest of his life. The dying old captain escaped with his unconscious daughter. For the rest of his life, the old captain lived for revenge against Cao Wei until he rescued Lu Ming. Lu Ming was in a trance. The haggard face of the old captain's daughter seemed to flash before my eyes. She was a quiet and pretty girl. Lu Ming still remembered it clearly, even though he had only seen it once. In the end, the old captain's daughter died in the tidal wave of a level 6 sea ghost attack. I said, Cao Wei. It's great to meet you here. This way I can avenge the old captain. Lu Ming's eyes instantly became sharp and cold, and he clenched the sword in his hand tightly. Cao Wei was at a loss. Who is the old captain? Who? Do I know him? He turned around and looked at the sailors behind him, only to see that hundreds of them all had confused expressions on their faces, scratching their heads and shaking their heads. Ask you guys, what the hell did any of you do? Cao Wei was silent. Silence is Cambridge tonight. From what he said, it seems that I have let the old captain down. The point is, who the hell is the old captain? Can you tell me first? Cao Wei was furious, pointing at Lu Ming and cursing, bullshit. What nonsense are you talking about? Cao Wei, you must die here today. Lu Ming sighed. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming disappeared from the spot. Quote question mark. Martial arts great freedom. Dividing the rivers. In a second, a knife hit Cao Wei's back hard. Blood splattered from the wound instantly, soaking Lu Ming's clothes. What? The severe pain woke Cao Wei up, and he didn't see how Lu Ming disappeared from his sight. Question mark. Sword skills. Question mark. Great freedom. It was a self-created martial art that Lu Ming comprehended after reaching level 6 in his previous life. Unlike the 6-skill moon step, the self-created martial arts, from the artistic conception to the moves, were all created by Lu Ming after his comprehension. The 6 skills require obtaining a martial arts book, but creating your own martial arts does not. Therefore, in this life, as long as Lu Ming's strength allows, he can use it. Chapter 14. Past Life Grudges. Rewards are launched. Reactions from all sides. At this moment, Lu Ming was surrounded by light. From the very beginning, soul absorption was absorbing the souls of hundreds of Navy soldiers present every second. Thump, thump, thump. The sailors collapsed one by one, their lives or deaths unknown, but Cao Wei had no time to care about them, as Lu Ming leapt in front of him. Boy, don't think I can't kill you. Cao Wei shouted angrily. Cheng Tian chopped straight at Cao Wei's face, but was blocked by Cao Wei's tiger paw on his head. Cao Wei only felt his hands going numb, and subconsciously felt that Lu Ming's knife was becoming more and more powerful. Boy, I'm a Navy man. Daxia Navy. They represent Daxia. With just your limited strength. Do you dare to go against the entire country? Cao Wei didn't linger too much. He dodged Lu Ming's knife and shouted at him angrily. Lu Ming grinned grimly. You don't understand bounty hunting. Don't talk to me about righteousness. Everything you see on the vast ocean is prey. No matter if you are a navy or a pirate, you should be treated equally. Click. Martial arts great freedom broken sky mountain. Lu Ming slashed with his knife, and one of Cao Wei's tiger paws was cut off instantly, and blood gushed out of his chest. Grass. Cao Wei cursed. Without having time to care about his broken arm, Cao Wei only felt that Lu Ming was getting braver and braver as the battle went on. If he continued like this, he would only die under Lu Ming's knife. Click. Cao Wei casually pulled a Navy man over to block Lu Ming's sword. The Navy soldier was also cut into 2 pieces by Lu Ming's sword. Ding. Kill the Navy King Fugi. Closing square bracket. The reward has not been opened yet, and the settlement cannot be completed. Algorithm error. Error found. Data is being updated. Closing square bracket. Question mark. Question mark. Lu Ming heard the system's prompt sound, but he did not stop and continued to hack towards Cao Wei. Damn it. My good days have just begun. I can't die here. Run. Quote. Cao Wei cursed inwardly, and while running away, he pulled the Navy to block the deadly sword for him. Oh my god, run, run. It's over. The captain is crazy. The captain is crazy. Don't pull me, don't pull me. I can't stop it. I can't stop it. Run, run. You will die if you run. Quote. Seeing Cao Wei taking his men to save his life, his men immediately scattered and fled. But at this moment, how could Chu Yong and Yang Xuan, who had recovered their breath, let these little Kurami go? The 2 of them immediately took action and intercepted them one by one. Just when Cao Wei was about to use the moon step to escape from the ship. Click. Martial arts great freedom kill Lulin. A flash of knife light passed by, and Cao Wei's legs were cut off. Plop. Cao Wei fell to the ground dejectedly. What? It hurts to death. You, how dare you? My legs. Cao Wei was terrified and looked at his broken legs with disbelief in his eyes. Before he could exclaim, the blade was against Cao Wei's neck. Cao Wei stared blankly at the sharp blade against his neck, his terrified face reflected on the back of the blade. All right, stop. Stop. I won't fight anymore. No, I don't want anything. I don't want the boat anymore. I don't want it anymore. As long as you let me go, I can pretend nothing happened. Cao Wei's face turned pale and he began to beg for mercy. I can give you anything you want. Woman, how about it? I have several fair-skinned and beautiful women, some of whom are still virgins. I'll give them all to you. How about a devil fruit? Yes, I'll give it to you. I just want your ship. We don't have any blood feud. Why do you have to kill me? Damn it. Say something. Damn it. You damned bastard. Bitch. If it weren't for the devil fruit, you would be on your knees looking up at me right now. If it weren't for the end of the world, you wouldn't even be worthy of carrying my shoes. If not. The next moment, system prompts sounded in unison in the ears of survivors around the world. Question mark. Ding. Data loading, system updated. The bounty list has been released, please check it in time. Question mark. Question mark. Lu Ming raised his eyebrows, his eyes were cold and slightly mocking. He ignored Cao Wei's begging for mercy and shook his wrist. A long bloodstain appeared on Cao Wei's neck, and blood gushed out like a fountain instantly. A few moments. Lu Ming looked at Cao Wei who died in a pool of blood, feeling mixed emotions. Question mark. Ding. You have killed Navy Cao Wei. From this moment on, everything will be different. Lu Ming tried his best to change the old captain's tragic fate in this life, hoping that he would never meet a scum like Cao Wei again in this life. Captain, let's meet again if we are lucky enough. Lu Ming murmured. Question mark. You completed your first bounty. Question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Navy Cao Wei. Level. None. Ability. Animal system, mythical beast, white tiger fruit. Daxia bounty list. No. 1856. Closing square bracket. Reward amount. Points. Reward. Shuangwang level treasure chest 1. First level martial arts. Sad wind sword technique. 1. Question mark. Question mark. Lu Ming was stunned and frowned slightly. In this life, the bounty list is opened earlier than in the previous life. This made Lu Ming, the instigator of all this, feel a little uneasy, but he didn't know whether this was good or bad. Soon, a system voice sounded on the public channel. Congratulations to Daxia bounty hunter number 0001 Lu Ming. Question mark. Complete the bounty reward. Get bounty rewards. Points. Shuangwang level treasure chest 1. First level martial arts. Sad wind sword technique. *1. Congratulations to Daxia bounty hunter number 0001 Lu Ming. Question mark. Complete the first kill of the bounty. Get the first kill reward. Choose one of 3. Question mark. Question mark. The next moment, public chats all over the world exploded. North America. Shit. Damn yellow rat, why are you so lucky? If it weren't for the apocalypse, we should have just sent them to see dear God with a nuclear bomb. Fuck. Check it out quickly. What exactly is this Lu Ming capable of? Quote. An island in North America, where the last of the government power is concentrated. With the emergence of bounty lists and bounties for first kills, things have become a mess. Cherry blossoms. On a certain giant sailing ship, a group of samurai in kimono were arguing anxiously around their leader. Humph, have you found that damn bastard Oda? It's all because of him. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have fallen to this point. He should commit seppuku to the emperor. Don't panic, our top priority is to find out what this Chinese man named Lu Ming is capable of. Quote. Summer. The sea area of Demon City. A young man looked at the room full of old chiefs and leaders, raised his eyes, and had an extraordinary demeanor. This bounty hunter named Lu Ming. Kifin, what do you think? An old leader looked up and asked the young man. The young man raised his eyes and said calmly, I still reserve my opinion. Our strategic goals should not be changed at will. The most urgent task is to gather the survivors and collect as many devil fruits as possible. The principle of saving people and losing land is something that all the teachers here understand. Hearing this, all the old leaders nodded one after another. Seeing that no one objected, the young man smiled confidently. This one's called Lu Ming. Maybe some top-tier devil fruit owner. But what can it do? The power of one person cannot determine the outcome of a battle. Not to mention wars between nations. An old leader asked. You mean, just leave it alone? I'm afraid that won't work, right? Of course not. We can try to win him over first. After all, it is a rare top-level devil fruit. If that doesn't work, then find another way to solve this hidden danger. I think the pirates in the waters of the Demon City are probably getting restless right now. The young man shook his head and smiled mockingly. Jiangnan waters. Bang. A table shattered and a sturdy man roared at the crowd. Fuck the bounty hunters. That guy, go and kill him for me. It's the fucking end of the world, I want to see who can stop me. Jihieji. A group of prisoners on the boat who were originally serving their sentences in prison let out mournful and sinister laughter. The sea area of Demon City. Tisk. Lu Ming. Interesting. The young man was lying in the cabin, drinking red wine, with a pretty beauty leaning beside him. The young man touched the pendant around his neck and murmured thoughtfully, why do I feel like I've heard this name before, as if I knew it in my previous life. HMPH, this demon city is so small, how can there be someone you, young Master Zhou, don't know? The beauty rolled her eyes. Oh, Jingjing, you don't understand. The young man touched the pendant and then exerted force with his big hand. The beauty snorted softly, then leaned against the young man's chest, looking at him with a frown and a hint of resentment in her eyes. Jingjing, you are so beautiful, let me. Before he could finish, the young man felt his body getting hot and he pressed down on the beauty. As the young man explored the beauty's body up and down with his hands, the beauty could no longer bear it. She bit her red lips and leaned into the young man's ear, breathing hot air. The next moment, the cabin was filled with spring light, and the two of them were in perfect harmony. 10,000 words are omitted here. Chapter 15, The Twists and Turns. Bounty Fever. The sea area of Demon City. On a certain abandoned ghost ship, several men were sitting in the cabin drinking and eating meat. Each of them had a slightly gloomy look on his face. It was obvious that Cao Wei's death was not good news for them. Boss, what if Cao Wei dies? Who will we do business with in the future? That's right, we don't have much stock left. We are still waiting to sell these survivors to Cao Wei in exchange for food. Damn beast, you ruined our business. The hook-nosed boss who was at the head of the group took a big gulp of wine, as if he had thought of something, and tried to comfort everyone. Panic. Without the butcher, won't we eat meat? If you ask me, it's a good thing that Cao Wei, that son of a bitch, died. I would have killed him sooner or later. Every time he pushed our price down, now that he's dead, we can bypass him and do business directly with the higher-ups. Jia. Hearing this, all the men nodded in agreement and cheered for each other. Great. Big brother is right, let's do this from now on. Do we have to thank that guy named Lu? Thank him for nothing. We should thank Cao Wei. It's a good thing he died. A subordinate at the side pondered cautiously for a moment, then looked at his boss. Brother, can the guy above do business with us? The hook-nose sneered and patted his face. Learn this, dog. Let me tell you, these days, even if someone is gone, business can still make money. So, should we go with the captain? Snapped. The hook-nosed man slapped him in the face and scolded him, stop talking nonsense. Why bother the captain with such trivial matters? Do you want to kill me? Why don't you go? I dare not. The subordinates were silent. Speaking of the captain, a group of guys who were used to seeing blood couldn't help but swallow their saliva, even they would feel fear and terror unconsciously. Even many people's hands were shaking as they held the wine. Then what should we do with this guy named Lu? What are you afraid of? No matter how powerful he is, can he kill me in this vast ocean? Once we have the supplies, it will only take a word to win over anyone. Boss is tall. Come on, let's give a toast to Big Brother. Come in with some beauties and show off to Big Brother. Jihieji. At the same time, in the sea area of Demon City. As soon as the news of the first bounty kill was announced, Lu Ming's name spread throughout the bounty hunter camp. Every hunter couldn't help but feel curious about Lu Ming, but more of them were envious of the bounty reward. Several familiar bounty hunters even formed a team and started looking for the bounty target. 5 points. How many bowls of instant noodles would that be? Looking at your achievements, you know that only level 1 martial arts are precious. That's right, go ask everyone in the world who has broken through to level 1. I'm offering 1 point as a reward for Lu Ming's personal information. The reward will be doubled for anyone who provides the location. Haha, you are overestimating yourself. You didn't see him kill Cao Wei, who is ranked over 1800th in the entire Daxia. Quote. Bounty Hunter's exclusive channel. Many bounty hunters were in an uproar, with the topics centered around Lu Ming bounty ranking, and many people even started discussing what kind of devil fruit Lu Ming had eaten to have the strength to kill Cao Wei. Lu Ming me. A young man was sitting by the boat, fiddling with a gold coin in his hand with an amusing look on his face. I just don't know what kind of devil fruit this Lu Ming ate. Superhuman. Or animal. Captain, how about we contact this Lu? A graceful lady stood up and asked from behind. If it were me, old Li, we would just go straight to their door and ask this guy named Lu to recognize the captain as his big brother. Said a burly middle-aged man unhappily. Haha, where can we find it in such a vast ocean? A young man with a cold expression asked while standing in the shadows. The burly middle-aged man was suddenly speechless. Okay. Big Li is not good at talking. The young man flicked the gold coin, and the smile on his face grew. Stop bullying him. It is the captain who has to take care of me, old Li. The burly middle-aged man looked at everyone proudly, causing everyone to roll their eyes. Then let's contact them first. Asked the lady. No hurry. Snapped. The young man caught the falling gold coins, then opened his palm, revealing a golden human head. Haha, no one knows what the outcome will be until the end. Let's wait and see. Hehe, this doomsday has just begun, hasn't it? The one who laughs last is the winner. The young man put away the gold coins, the smile on his face disappeared instantly, and he looked at the distant horizon with an indifferent expression. Magic City. Daxia Naval Base. Silence. Dead silence. In the huge Daxia Navy headquarters, a group of former chiefs and leaders of the Daxia Magic City sat silently in the room smoking, and for a while the room was filled with smoke. Everyone looked at each other, and no one spoke. They had never expected such an outcome. They had just wanted to win over Lu Ming and use the name of the country to seize his ship and materials, but this decision had not even left the room. Soon after, Cao Wei of the Great Sha Navy was slaughtered by others, like an unprecedented big bastard. Who is Cao Wei? They are very familiar with it. Despite repeated violations of military discipline, Cao Wei, who ate the white tiger fruit, can be said to be their most powerful trump card in Doomsday, no doubt about it. This is also the reason why they turned a blind eye to Cao Wei's various beastly behaviors. But now, it's all in vain. Snapped. A teacup was smashed against the wall, and an old leader used this to express his anger. Too presumptuous. Too arrogant. That's right. This brat named Lu Ming doesn't take our Great Sha Navy seriously at all. If it was before the end of the world, I would have killed him long ago. Now we may not be able to deal with him. Yes, that's Cao Wei. We don't have anyone stronger than Cao Wei right now. I originally wanted to train Cao Wei to increase Kyoto's attention to us. Now it's all in vain. When everyone was angry, the leading leader looked at everyone with a gloomy face and took a puff of his cigarette. Haha, we are not opponents. That doesn't matter. Cao Wei, after all, is only ranked 1800 plus in the entire Daxia bounty ranking. I just don't believe that there is no one in the top 1000 in the entire Magic City, or even the entire Jiangnan. I want this guy named Lu Ming to regret going against us. Below the giant wheel Longxiang. On the schooner, Boss Lu waited anxiously for a long time. Originally, he was staying on the boat peacefully and comfortably, waiting for Cao Wei to capture the boy. But just now he saw with his own eyes that this huge ship suddenly turned into a huge dragon horse, and his heart instantly rose. No problem, absolutely no problem. How could that little bastard possibly be a match for Captain Cao? Ha ha ha, that's right. It's been so long, I guess Cao Wei must be enjoying himself on the ship. This heartless guy, he didn't even think of me when he had such a good thing. Quote. Thinking of this, the fat boss Lu became so horny that he shouted to a Navy man. Hey, go and bring me a beauty. The Navy rolled his eyes at him, turned and left, completely ignoring him. Fuck, my words don't count. Based on the relationship between me and your captain, you'll be finished when your captain comes back. Boss Lu said viciously. Hearing this, the Navy struggled for a while, but finally compromised. After a while, a pretty and quiet girl was brought into the cabin. The moment he saw the girl, Boss Lu's eyes lit up and his saliva was about to flow out of his mouth. He pounced on the girl. The girl dodged and avoided Boss Lu, who was as hungry as a wolf. Fuck, you're quite clever, little girl. Let me tell you, I'm a good friend of your Captain Cao's. If you obey me, I'll arrange a good room for you once we're on board. Boss Lu had an arrogant attitude. Hearing Captain Cao, the girl couldn't help but frown and cursed inwardly. Cao Wei is a piece of trash. Since the girl got on board, Cao Wei has secretly spied on her more than once. It was also thanks to her father being there, otherwise. She wanted to persuade her father to take her brother away from the ship and leave Cao Wei, but her brother needed medicine. Thinking of this, the girl looked lonely and sighed in her heart. Seeing the girl's dejected look, Boss Lu thought his words had acted as a deterrent, so he raised his fat hand and touched the girl's peak. Crunch. The cabin door was pushed open. Grass. Who the hell disturbs Lao Za at such a critical moment? Boss Lu shouted angrily. Hee, do I need to say sorry to you? Lu Ming was covered in blood, holding a knife and looking at Boss Lu with a smile on his face. Fatty, we meet again. Boss Lu and the young girl looked at Lu Ming and stood there in a daze. The setting sun was shining into the room from outside the cabin door at this time, and the air was filled with the smell of an old wooden boat and the damp, salty smell of seawater. Lu Ming had delicate features and a bloody body. There were a few drops of blood on his face, but it did not obscure his angular appearance. The girl stared at Lu Ming blankly, as if at this moment a young general who had emerged from thousands of enemy troops had suddenly broken into her originally dead and withered life. But Boss Lu doesn't think so. Why are you here? Where's Captain Cao? I tell you, I am Captain Cao's friend. Boss Lu was shocked when he saw Lu Ming. But Boss Lu quickly returned to his defiant attitude. Ah, I see. Ha ha ha, you must be no match for Captain Cao, that's why you were driven off. Boy, do you regret not letting me on board? Kneel down and kowtow to me now. Maybe I will show mercy and ask Captain Cao to let you go. Lu Ming did not refute and threw it to the ground. When the head fell to the ground, and after confirming with his eyes, it was Cao Wei's face. Here, your good friend. Boss Lu was dumbfounded, standing there in a daze, looking at Cao Wei's head on the ground. I was wondering why Cao Wei was heading towards my ship. Turns out someone was leading the Japanese. You really know how to cause trouble for me. What do you think I should do with you? Fat smash. The smile on Lu Ming's face grew brighter. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel. Chapter 16, Shark Jumping Board. Two women fighting. Male Cancer Night. Hey, Fatty, walk faster. Walk faster. The giant wheel is like a dragon. After taking a shower, Lu Ming changed into clean clothes and lay comfortably on a lounge chair on the deck, drinking wine, looking at Boss Lu, who was standing on the gangway and kept urging him. At this time, under the giant ship, dozens of sharks were wandering around, fighting and biting the corpses of the sailors. Except for those whose souls were sucked dry by Lu Ming, the others who refused to obey and stubbornly resisted were all killed by Lu Ming and thrown into the sea. The fishy smell of blood attracted a large number of sharks to feed here. Directly above the school of sharks is the end of the springboard. Boss Lu was trembling as he lay on the diving board, looking at the little cuties happily eating below, his face pale with fright. Impossible, impossible, this is all a dream. Right. I must be dreaming. I will definitely still be at home when I wake up, ha 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 ha, what doomsday. It's all a dream. Damn you, Cao Wei. You really deserve to die, Cao Wei. Aren't you awesome? Why can't you even take down a young man? Quote. At this moment, Boss Lu cursed Cao Wei's ancestors countless times in his heart. He turned his head and looked resentfully at Lu Ming, who looked very happy. He unconsciously moved closer to the springboard to make himself more stable. Jump, fatty, Lu Ming urged with a smile. Yang Xuan and Chu Yang, each holding a bucket of fried chicken and drinking Coke, sat on the deck and watched Boss Lu's impromptu performance. Both of them were seriously injured and just wanted to have a big meal, but it was a rare sight to see someone walking on a gangplank. On the contrary, Wu Chu and Chu Ling were already too busy to handle the work. This time the ship was intercepted, the two of them were trying to appease everyone on the ship to avoid chaos, and now they have to take over the survivors on Cao Wei's ship. Those who meet Lu Ming's requirements will be welcomed on board, those who do not meet the requirements will not be made difficult by Lu Ming, and will be left to fend for themselves while they sail the Cao Wei catch. It was just a schooner, and Lu Ming had no idea how many ships he had taken out of his backpack. You two help him and give our Boss Lu a ride. Seeing that Boss Lu was like a dung beetle, clinging to the diving board without moving, Lu Ming's good mood was gone, so he gave instructions to the two men beside him. After hearing what Lu Ming said, Yang Xuan and Chu Yang looked at each other cunningly, then they stood up and slowly walked towards the diving board. Seeing the two people coming, Boss Lu's face changed drastically. Xiao Yang, Xiao Chu, have you forgotten your brother Lu, who saved you when you were drifting on the sea? Quote. You must not be ungrateful. Your brother Lu values you two the most. Let me go. Please, let me go. Quote. Hearing this, Chu Yang thought about it, looked at Yang Xuan and asked, is this true? None. Yang Xuan curled his lips, and threw the bone spear in his hand towards Boss Lu on the springboard with all his might. Whoosh! The bone gun stuck to Boss Lu's fat butt and stabbed past him. Although Boss Lu was not stabbed, he was frightened and screamed. His body began to shake and the springboard also began to shake. Ah! Stop throwing it! Stop throwing it! Puff! A bone spear pierced Boss Lu's butt, and blood instantly flowed down his thigh and dripped into the sea. The sharks suddenly became excited and began to cheer and roll. No, no, you can't do this. We are all Daxia people. What you are doing is immoral. I will file a complaint against you. Quote. Puff. The girl standing next to Lu Ming originally maintained a gentle and elegant personality, but she couldn't help but laugh out loud. As if realizing that her laughter was indecent, the girl immediately covered her mouth and returned to her gentle and polite demeanor. Because all his attention was focused on how to control Boss Lu, Lu Ming only then noticed that he had just rescued a pretty girl. You are. Lu Ming looked at the girl and felt that she looked familiar. The girl's eyes lit up, she pinched the corner of her clothes, stepped forward hesitantly, lowered her head and whispered softly, my name is Wang Area. Lu Ming blurted out, Wang Wanru. Wang Area whispered. Wang Area was at a loss. He drew his sword and looked around, feeling confused and dazed. Damn it, who the hell leaked my name? While Wang Area was still wondering, Lu Ming suddenly stood up and pinched her shoulders with great excitement. You haven't? Are you okay? Great, it's so nice to see you. Seeing this, Yang Xuan and Chu Yang, who were executing the sentence nearby, also smelled the scent of gossip and moved closer to this side at the same time. Wang Area's face turned red instantly. What? Is this the sudden confession? Oh, you are too direct. Really? I wasn't prepared at all. My heart is beating so fast, what should I do? Waiting online. He is so handsome and he saved her, so should she accept him? But my father said that girls should be more reserved, and being too aggressive is not a good deal. Should I test him by refusing first? But what if he gives up? Just when Wang Area thought that Lu Ming was going to say something to her, Lu Ming's next sentence almost made her vomit blood. Where's your dad? Lu Ming stared with a sincere look on his face. What the hell? Wang Area was confused. Yang Xuan and Chu Yang, who were watching the show on the side, were also confused. They looked at Lu Ming's sincere face and didn't know how to complain for a moment. Where's your dad? Lu Ming asked anxiously. Lu Ming never thought that in this life he not only changed the fate of the old captain's family, but also happened to save the old captain's daughter. When everyone was confused, Chu Ling, who had just finished her work, came over. When they saw Chu Ling, Yang Xuan and Chu Yang's faces turned pale instantly. Boss, this is. Chu Ling looked at Lu Ming, a hint of coldness flashed in the corners of her eyes, and she asked with a smile on her face. This is Wang Area. She will be a member of our team in the future. Lu Ming patted Wang Area on the shoulder and said with a smile. Everyone knows that the meaning of team members is different. Chu Ling and Wang Area's eyes unconsciously met in the air, and their beautiful eyes looked at each other quietly. At this moment, the air on the deck seemed to begin to slowly cool down. Yang Xuan and Chu Yang stepped back unconsciously, as if they were afraid of being affected by this silent war. It turned out to be Area's sister. Chu Ling lifted her hair, revealing the clearly visible whiteness of her neck. Chu Ling walked forward, just separating Lu Ming and Wang Area, and took Wang Area's arm. My name is Chu Ling. If you need anything in the future, just tell me. I've always been the only girl here, so I'm finally here. My sister is really young. Is she in high school? Wang Area sneered and looked at Chu Ling dimly. Thank you so much, sister. I'm just 18 this year, which is not young anymore. I can get married in my hometown. When my sister is this age, her children are old enough to help with cooking. Quote. The two of them were smiling and supporting each other, looking like a pair of close sisters. You two have such a good relationship. It turns out that girls can get along better with each other. Lu Ming couldn't help but sigh as he looked at Chu Ling and Wang Area. But why do I feel like? Lu Ming inexplicably felt as if something was missing. As soon as these words were spoken, Yang Xuan and Chu Yang turned their heads and stared at him, their eyeballs seemed to be about to pop out. Yang Xuan, my lord is in danger. Chu Yang, boss, how did you know that they have a good relationship? Ahem, boss, there's something I need you to handle. Chu Ling said helplessly to Lu Ming. Lu Ming was puzzled. The next moment, under the leadership of Chu Ling, Lu Ming came to the deck where many captives were. A group of prisoners and survivors squatted aside, holding instant noodles in their hands and slurping the noodles and drinking the soup. Seeing Lu Ming coming, everyone could tell that some important person had arrived. Many beauties began to fiddle with their sticky hair and dirty clothes, hoping to be noticed by this important person. This guy has been refusing to speak. We can't do anything to him. Chu Ling walked in front and explained to Lu Ming. Afterwards, surrounded by a group of yellow-turbaned strongmen, the Navy Wang Yongjun, who was wrapped like a dumpling, had his mouth blocked and his face turned ashen, but he kept struggling. Woo 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 woo, woo 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 woo. The moment she saw Wang Yongjun, Wang Area immediately exclaimed. Dad, ooh. But before Wang Area could step forward, Lu Ming rushed over instantly, helped Wang Yongjun up and hugged him. Ship, Captain, it's so good to see you. Lu Ming cried. Wang Yongjun, Chu Ling, Wang Area, Yang Xuan, semicolon closing parenthesis, Chu Yang, degree, survivor, slurp, slurp, opening parenthesis question mark closing parenthesis. Chapter 17, Invitation to join. People in the warehouse. Devil fruit. In the previous life, the rebellion of Zhou Qi and Zhang Jingjing resulted in the death of all the people on the ship. Wang Yongjun was even killed by Zhou Qi in an attempt to save the entire ship. Lu Ming was captured by Zhou Qi and others, and was eventually tortured to death using various torture methods. Xiao Lu, run. Don't worry about us. We can't all die here in the Lucky Star team. Oh, and remember to avenge our brothers. Brother Lu, save me. Please save me, I'm still young, I don't want to die, I really don't want to die. Why? Zhou Qi, you damned traitor. Why did you betray everyone? What good will this do for you? Quote. Captain, go. Go quickly. Please don't die, just go with your brothers. I beg you, you must stay alive. Ha 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 ha. Come on, you damn monsters. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid. I, Captain Zhang Biao, am not afraid. I'll be a man until I die. The most courageous man on the ship. Quote. The words they spoke before their tragic deaths are still ringing in my ears. Lu Ming lost control of his emotions for a moment. He hugged Wang Yongjun with red eyes, forgetting that everyone was watching behind him. Seeing everyone's surprised eyes, Lu Ming pretended to be calm. He untied the rope that bound Wang Yongjun while wiping away the tears from his eyes. Untie this Navy captain. Upon hearing this, a group of yellow turban warriors stepped forward and untied Wang Yongjun's ropes. Sorry for being rude as it's our first meeting. Lu Ming smiled and extended his right hand first. My name is Lu Ming, and I'm the owner of this huge ship. Upon hearing this, Wang Yongjun, who was originally confused, changed his expression. He began to look carefully at the young man in front of him, and could not imagine how the murderous Cao Wei died in his hands. Did he really kill Cao Wei? Is he stronger than Cao Wei? Wang Yongjun was confused, looking at the sincere smile on Lu Ming's face and his right hand stretched out and suspended in the air. At this moment, Wang Yongjun looked more and more cautious. He had no idea what tricks this young man named Lu Ming was playing. Playing hard to get. Impossible. Cao Wei died in his hands. Is there anything about an old man like me that is worthy of his attention? As expected of the man who could kill Cao Wei, he is indeed a man of deep thoughts. I have been around for half my life and still cannot figure him out. Wang Yongjun shook hands cautiously and returned the greeting. Hello, my name is Wang Yongjun, a former soldier of the Great Sha Magic City, and now a member of the Great Sha Navy. My apologies, Captain Wang is so reasonable. It's obvious that he is different from someone. Let's go. This is not the place to talk. You haven't eaten yet. I'll treat you. Lu Ming patted his chest and said. Then, he turned to Chu Ling and said. Give everyone extra food today. Add roast chicken, one for each person. When the captives and survivors on the deck heard the word, roast chicken, their eyes lit up. Damn, they're eating roasted chicken. Isn't that too extravagant? Hey, I wonder if there's any for us. I want to eat it, too, even if it's just a chicken butt. What are you thinking about? They have requirements for recruiting people. Are you studying medicine? You should just focus on eating your instant noodles. Even if you have instant noodles, just be happy. When you were on the Navy ship, you only had black bread. Alas, we are all Daxia people wandering on the sea, why are our destinies different? Slurp. Quote. Chu Ling was also confused. When had her boss ever been so generous? Add them all. Or just? Chu Ling asked puzzledly. Add all. Those who don't meet the requirements will be asked to leave after they are eaten. Lu Ming waved his hand, and more than 2,000 roasted chickens were scattered out. Anyway, when I looted the Zhongyang Road wholesale market, there were a lot of frozen chickens, so they were just left there anyway. Just roast them all. In the previous life, a boatload of people wanted to have a roast chicken, but they saved for several months and still couldn't get one for each person. Isn't it just roast chicken? I, Lu Ming, have plenty now. Upon hearing this, the captives and survivors drooled on the deck. Oh my god. Is this true? Is the boss so arrogant? Does everyone have it? I really love this kind of boss. He's not like my previous boss Lu who was so stingy. This boss is so handsome. And he has such a good temperament. I wonder if he will like me. You should take a break. You're all smelly, your hair is frizzy, and you've been exposed to the sun. Eat your instant noodles. Ah, why? Why didn't I study agriculture? Civil engineering would be fine too. Quote. Exclusive canteen. The table was filled with a variety of seafood and barbecue, as well as many fresh dishes, such as sweet and sour spare ribs, Peking duck, 4 happiness meatballs, sweet and sour pork, and even cream cakes. The wine and the food are light, please don't mind, Captain Wang. Lu Ming raised his glass and toasted Wang Yongjun. At this moment, Wang Yongjun and Wang Area, looking at the feast, felt that their eyes were not enough for a moment. If it was before the apocalypse, they would just think that the dish was quite sumptuous, but now it is after the apocalypse, and the word sumptuous cannot describe it. The wine and the dishes are meager, but this is like a state banquet, brother. Yang Xuan, Chu Yang and Wu Chu were standing aside, already eating and drinking like crazy. Everyone present was their own people, and Lu Ming never cared about the occasion. The three of them devoured the food in no time, and Wang Area didn't even realize she was hungry, even though the food they had eaten on Cao Wei's boat was only average. Seeing that her father was still trying to save face, Wang Area became furious and pinched Wang Yongjun in private. Wang Yongjun felt pain and couldn't help but frown. He looked at the wine glass in Lu Ming's hand and his nose twitched. I've confirmed the taste and it seems to be aged motai. Wang Yongjun's throat was shaking. He loved drinking. He picked up the glass and clinked it with Lu Ming, and they both drank it all in one gulp. Hiss. Ahem. Wang Yongjun sighed. Good wine. He hadn't had such good wine for many years, if it weren't for the fact that all the family savings had been used to treat his son's illness. Oh, where's my son? Captain Wang, don't worry. I have asked someone to take care of your son. Lu Ming filled Wang Yongjun's glass with wine. Wang Yongjun was relieved, but his face turned gloomy. Huh, are you threatening me with my son? Boss Lu, what do you mean? It's nothing. I just think Captain Wang is a talented person. He has been working under Cao Wei for a long time and it's really a shame. Why don't you come to my place? I won't say anything else, but I will provide you with plenty of good wine and food. Lu Ming looked at Wang Yongjun with a smile. The things the old captain cared about most in his life were his children and wine. I treated him with fine wine and took care of his daughter and son. I wonder if he is very touched now. You don't have to thank me, old captain. This is what I, Xiao Lu, should do. I am so happy to see that you are safe and sound. But Wang Yongjun didn't think so. Haha, it's not a matter of compromise. The three of us, father and daughter, depend on each other. It's enough for us to be alive. Wang Yongjun had a gloomy face and drank a glass of wine. Well, okay. I finally understand. This young man named Lu is so scheming. What good looks. What soft tactics. They are all fake, just for show. Don't think I don't know your little tricks. Wang Yongjun glanced at his daughter who was secretly gnawing on a pig's trotter. He saw Wang Arya gnawing on the pig's trotter silently while secretly looking at Lu Ming, as if she was afraid that her behavior was indecent. At this moment, Wang Yongjun understood everything. You piece of shit. It turns out that you are obsessed with my pretty daughter. Are you trying to save the country in a roundabout way? Damn it. You maggot-hearted thing. You look like a good person, but if I could beat you, I would kill you right now. Cao Wei is a scumbag. You are not worthy of working under him. Why don't you join me? Let alone anything else, we are a conscientious company that values respect for employees and democracy and freedom. Lu Ming said with a smile. After these words were spoken, Yang Xuan, Chu Yang, Wu Chu and Chu Ling all paused for a moment and then continued to eat. It's okay, I just choked. Wang Yongjun also saw this scene and felt a chill in his heart. I have always respected the country's soldiers. Lu Ming raised his glass. If I didn't respect the country's soldiers, like that silly girl Ling Momo, I would have thrown her into the sea to feed the sharks long ago. Hey, who was I talking about? Ling Momo. Who is Ling Momo? Lu Ming was at a loss, looking at the 7 people in front of the table, including himself. Fuck. Lu Ming jumped up in surprise, looked at Wu Chu, whose mouth was filled with 4 happiness meatballs, and asked, where's Ling Momo? Chief Wu was bewildered. Ling Momo. He also subconsciously wanted to ask who Ling Momo was. Fuck. Chief Wu also jumped up with an exclamation. The next moment, the two of them ran towards the warehouse amidst the shouts of, WTF. Fuck. 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 Crunch. The warehouse door was opened by 2 people, and Lu Ming walked in first. What came towards me was an apple box. Lu Ming dodged it. All I saw in the warehouse were scattered apples, apple boxes, messy apple cores, and a fishy stench in the air. In the corner, Ling Momo was squatting there, holding a strangely shaped apple in her hand and eating it. Shit. He's still alive. Shit. That's great. Fuck. Momo. Brother Wu is so sorry for you. At this moment, Ling Momo turned her head away with bloodshot eyes, holding back tears, and biting the apple in her hand. But for some reason, she felt that today's apples were so unpalatable. Lu Ming seemed to have figured out something and his expression froze. Ling Momo, what are you eating? You've locked me up for so long, can't I just eat an apple? Besides, what can I eat if I don't eat apples? Ling Momo ignored him, snorted coldly, and lowered her head to bite the unpalatable apple. Stop eating. Stop eating. Lu Ming looked panicked and was about to reach out to grab it. I will eat. I will eat. I will eat you till you are broke. Ling Momo had just finished the last bite of the apple when Lu Ming's hand stretched out in front of her, and snapped. Fuck. Just let go. Lu Ming finally pulled his hand out of Ling Momo's mouth, only to see a clearly visible gum on his hand that was bleeding slowly. I gave you life. Lu Ming used his ability on the wound, but it just seemed like the wound came back to life, but it could not heal. Ah. It's over. It really is a devil fruit. Ling Momo, what on earth did you eat? Lu Ming shouted angrily. Ling Momo seemed to be aware of her own abilities. She looked at her hands in disbelief, and a hint of cunning flashed in her eyes. Ling Momo stretched out her hands and tried her best to touch Lu Ming, but Lu Ming immediately realized something was wrong and dodged immediately. Ling Momo didn't pounce on him, but saw Wu Chu, who looked confused. Get out of the way, Chief Wu. Don't let this silly girl touch you. Humph, you dare to call me a silly girl. I'm going to take good care of you. Damn Lu Ming. LOLD Wu. You have become bad too, and are in cahoots with this guy. Ling Momo was filled with hatred. Before Chief Wu could dodge, Ling Momo leapt forward. Pat! She slapped Wu Chu's stomach with her right hand, and then the smile on her face became more and more obvious. Chief Wu was still completely confused and touched his stomach. What's wrong? Nothing happened. The next moment, Wu Chu's stomach made a rumbling sound and his face turned pale instantly. No, I have to go to the bathroom first, you two can chat first. Then Chief Wu ran away quickly. Seeing this, Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. He looked at Ling Momo and asked more cautiously, what fruit did you eat? Hey, guess what? Aren't you, Lu Ming, very awesome? How dare you lock me up here for over a month? Do you know how I have been spending the past month? Ling Momo held back her tears, gritted her teeth and angrily shouted at Lu Ming. I will never let you go. The next moment, Ling Momo immediately rushed towards Lu Ming. Fortunately, Lu Ming relied on his soul perception, so even though Ling Momo was petite and agile, she couldn't touch Lu Ming at all. Whoosh! If you were a man, let me touch you. Ling Momo was panting. She had been living on apples for more than a month, and now she had no strength left after just a little exercise. Did you give me money? So you can touch me? I'm a good young man, why do you touch me just because you say so? Lu Ming showed a smug smile. He also realized that the prerequisite for Ling Momo's ability to be activated is to touch other people. Now there are only him and Ling Momo present, so as long as he is not touched by Ling Momo, there will be no problem. I forgot you. This is definitely my fault. I apologize to you, but I warn you, you are not allowed to use your fruit power on me. Lu Ming warned. You're dreaming. Ling Momo was not willing to be outdone and tried several times but failed. Come again, huh? Don't blame me for being merciless. Lu Ming said with a wicked smile. I'm afraid you won't succeed. Ling Momo pouted and kept reaching out to touch Lu Ming. The next moment, Lu Ming gathered his soul power in his hands and stretched out his hands towards Ling Momo. I give you life. Soon, Ling Momo's hands seemed to come alive. She opened her eyes, laughed and lost control. Ah, what did you do? Let me go. Ling Momo's hands were out of control and she was a little panicked. Just shout, you're very awesome, aren't you? Lu Ming said proudly, crossing his arms over his chest. Want to return to the way things were? Okay, but you have to swear that you won't use your abilities on me without my permission. You're dreaming. I will definitely let you experience what it feels like to be locked up in a small dark room. I'll let you know how I've been spending the past month. Ling Momo was not willing to be outdone. Haha, then don't blame me. Lu Ming shrugged. Snapped. Lu Ming snapped his fingers. The next moment, Ling Momo's own hands began to wander over her body involuntarily, from the plains to the peaks, and began to caress every inch of her skin. You. Ling Momo blushed. Soon, Ling Momo couldn't help but let out a strange moan as she kneaded her peak with both hands. Ling Momo's face became more and more red with shame. She gritted her teeth and stared at Lu Ming with an increasingly blurred look in her eyes. Soon, his hands began to unbutton Ling Momo's shirt, revealing her white underwear. Although Ling Momo was thin and petite, Lu Ming had to admit that she had a really good figure. Continue kneading with both hands. Ling Momo stared at Lu Ming, tears welling up in her eyes. I'm warning you, I didn't touch you. It was your own hand. I have nothing to do with it. Lu Ming dodged and distanced himself from the matter. Don't even think about relying on me. As long as you swear, I will help you return to your original state. You, are, dreaming. Ling Momo looked embarrassed, with sweat dripping down her forehead. HMPH, then I am being rude. His hands began to move towards Ling Momo's body. Ling Momo's expression suddenly changed and she shouted. I was wrong, I was wrong. Lu Ming, you lunatic. Isn't it enough for me to swear? Scold me. Lu Ming was displeased. The hands continued to wander. I was really wrong. I won't dare to do it again. Brother Lu, isn't it okay that I was wrong? Ling Momo shouted tenderly. Call me boss. Lu Ming snorted coldly. Boss, I was wrong. I swear, I will never fight with you again. Ling Momo had no choice but to bow to the evil forces. No, you have to call me Captain. Ling Momo gritted her teeth and said angrily, Captain, I was wrong. I won't do it again. Then, call me good brother. Ah, Lu Ming, you pervert. Go to hell. Chapter 18 Signing a Contract. Lucky fruit. It seems like yesterday. Exclusive canteen. Ling Momo held back her tears, took a big bite of the beef ribs, and stared at Lu Ming, not hiding the hatred and anger in her eyes. During the more than 1 month she was locked up in the warehouse, she survived by eating apples. After being released with great difficulty, she was brutally suppressed by Lu Ming and signed a soul contract that deprived her of her human rights. It would even be difficult for her to take revenge on Lu Ming in the future. Momo, Brother Wu wants to ask you something. How many times have you been going to the toilet in the past month? Chief Wu asked curiously. Shut up. Ling Momo roared. Click. The plate broke. Ling Momo turned to look at Wu Chu, her eyes seemed to contain a murderous aura. Whoever asks about this will die. The fork rubbed against the broken pieces of the plate, and Ling Momo clenched the fork, her fist making a rattling sound. Everyone present looked at her and there was silence for a moment. Chief Wu shook his head and said apologetically, Don't ask, let's continue eating. Let's have some pig's trotters. I haven't eaten properly for such a long time. Apples are really bad for my stomach. What should I eat if not apples? Ling Momo picked up the pig's trotter in annoyance and glanced at Lu Ming with resentment. Chu Ling and Wang Area, who were sitting at the dining table, looked at Ling Momo silently. After taking a shower, Ling Momo, with her wet short hair hanging down to her ears, made her skin look rosy, with a slender white neck, a pretty face, and the unique and dashing temperament of a policewoman, bloomed like a lily. Seeing this, the two girls couldn't help but become more alert. Feeling the gaze, Lu Ming smiled awkwardly, turned his head to look at the group of Crow Tengu guards behind him, and shouted angrily. I told you to lock the people in the warehouse, not to deprive them of food. Why didn't you tell me? Fortunately no one was killed this time. Be careful next time. Gah. The Crow Tengu looked at each other in confusion. Boss, you just said to close the warehouse, you didn't say to provide food. Alas, life is not easy, I sigh while working. HMPH. Ling Momo snorted coldly. Lu Ming coughed lightly out of embarrassment and began to change the subject. Ahem, sorry, Captain Wang, a small accident happened. Don't be surprised. Lu Ming looked at Wang Yongjun. Wang Yongjun curled his lips and drank his wine without paying any attention to Lu Ming. However, he met Wang Area's captivating eyes and replied reluctantly. Fine, where were we just talking about? Oh, right, what I'm talking about here is democracy and freedom. Lu Ming suddenly realized. Everyone was silent. Silence is Cambridge tonight. I wonder if Captain Wang is interested in joining us. Lu Ming asked eagerly. Not interested in. Wang Yongjun rolled his eyes at him and drank the wine one glass at a time. Oh, boy, you are still a little immature. Want to tie me up and take the opportunity to get close to my daughter. Have your spring and autumn dreams. I can't watch my daughter while I'm alive. Ouch, it hurts so much. Who the hell pinched me? Wang Yongjun was about to curse when he saw Wang Area's forced smile and the gloomy coldness in her eyes. Wang Yongjun was dumbfounded. What's the situation? I said, girl, why are you pinching me? No, you like this boy. You are confused. It's obvious that this guy has bad intentions. I admit that this guy looks as handsome as I was when I was young, but he looks like a black-hearted bastard. He always looks at me with malicious intent. I strongly disagree with what you two are doing. Seeing this, Lu Ming said slowly, Don't worry, Captain Wang. I heard that your son is seriously ill. Maybe I have a solution. Wang Yongjun and Wang Area looked at Lu Ming with serious expressions. Boss Lu, are you telling the truth? The father and daughter asked. The family has given almost everything for their brother's illness, but can only barely keep him alive. I am a devil fruit user. I believe Captain Wang can guess it. The soul power surged in Lu Ming's hands. There are many diseases that cannot be cured by modern medicine, but that doesn't mean the devil fruit's ability can't help. So you really have a way. Just tell me. Even if it costs me my life, I won't say anything. Wang Yongjun stood up suddenly with excitement, patting his chest and said. Wang Area also had tears in her eyes as she looked at Lu Ming dimly. Then, a soul contract floated in front of Wang Yongjun, and even everyone present had one in front of them, except Ling Momo who had been forced to sign the contract. Everyone looked at it. Okay, after confirming with our eyes, this is a contract of sale. Sign it, Lu Ming said seriously. These words seemed to be spoken to everyone present, with a dignified tone that could not be refused. Bite your finger and make a fingerprint. Very simple. This is just a very common labor contract. As soon as these words were spoken, Yang Xuan bit his finger first and put his fingerprint on the contract without even looking at it. The next moment, a bright light appeared and the contract turned into two balls of light, half of which penetrated into Yang Xuan's forehead and the other half penetrated into Lu Ming's forehead. Soon, Chief Wu followed suit and completed the contract. He is nearly 30 years old and has no abilities at all. The only way for him to survive and live well in this doomsday is to hold on to Lu Ming's thighs tightly. Opportunities are reserved for those who are prepared, but not all prepared people can seize the opportunities. Although Chief Wu is stupid, a slow bird can still fly first. The third one was Chu Yang. Before Chu Ling finished reading the contract, Chu Yang immediately bit his finger and put his fingerprint on it. After witnessing the battle between Lu Ming and Cao Wei, the last bit of pride in Chu Yang's heart was shattered, and he could only admire Lu Ming wholeheartedly. Moreover, he knew his sister's thoughts very well. If things worked out in the future, Lu Ming would have to call him brother-in-law. When Chu Ling saw her brother signed the contract so quickly, she stopped looking at it carefully and immediately bit her finger to complete the signing. Seeing that the four people had completed the signing quickly and efficiently, Lu Ming also changed his serious expression and showed a warm smile. What do you mean? Wang Yongjun looked at him coldly. Looking at the two sold contracts in front of him in Wang Area, especially the one that stated that one must meet the identity of bounty hunter. In other words, Wang Yongjun had to abandon his identity as a Navy and switch to a bounty hunter. This kind of job change comes with a huge price, and at this stage, the price is naturally a huge amount of points. But in the previous life, the price of changing camp was to drop in rank. The cost of dropping from level 2 to level 1 is still bearable, but the cost of dropping from level 9 to level 8 is simply unbearable. Therefore, the later the game progresses, the less likely the survivors will choose to change their lineup. But for Wang Yongjun, a professional soldier, this kind of job change is tantamount to betraying his military career, and even more so, betraying the country and the people. Literally. Lu Ming smiled. Threaten me? How could be? Wang Yongjun looked at Lu Ming gloomily with a cold expression, and the anger in his eyes seemed to be about to explode. Signed. Wang Area, who was standing aside, had already signed the soul contract. She then looked at her father with a smile, and there was a threat in that smile. Wang Yongjun. ... The next moment, everyone who had completed the signing came to the room where Wang Xiaomao was being cared for. I saw a thin young man lying on the bed. He looked haggard, with barely any breath, as if he would die at any time. Under the eager gaze of Wang Yongjun and his daughter, Lu Ming walked to Wang Xiaomao. Ling Momo, come here. Lu Ming scolded. Ling Momo raised her head and asked, why do you want me to do this? I can't treat illnesses. Give Wang Xiaomao some more. Lu Ming ordered. Really? Just let me out and let me work. Damn capitalists. Ling Momo walked up and patted everyone on the body. In an instant, everyone felt as if they were missing something and looked at Lu Ming in confusion. Ling Momo accidentally ate the superhuman lucky fruit. She has the ability to store other people's luck. She just took some luck from you. Don't worry, she will return it to you after everything is over. Lu Ming explained. Hearing this, everyone stared at Ling Momo. Originally, everyone thought that Ling Momo was just relying on her relationship with Lu Ming, and at most she and Chief Wu were among the first group of people to board the ship. But now it seems that Ling Momo's importance is on the same level as Yang Xuan and Chu Yang. In fact, because of the lucky fruit, Ling Momo will definitely be an indispensable member of the team in the future. Thinking of this, everyone looked at Ling Momo with a little more respect in their eyes. Chu Ling and Wang Area pursed their lips and looked at Ling Momo's proud expression, feeling lonely. Feeling everyone's shocked gazes, Ling Momo couldn't help but feel a little smug. Hee, I told you that girls who love to laugh will definitely have good luck. Who asked someone to lock me up in a small dark room? You didn't expect that the devil fruit would choose its own person. Chief Wu approached with envy. Momo, you can't forget about your brother Wu. You have to give your brother Wu some when you go out to salvage in the future. Stay away, Ling Momo said unhappily. Hey, that's good. The next second, Ling Momo stepped forward and gently patted Wang Xiaomao's arm. In the blink of an eye, Wang Xiaomao's face became visibly redder. The soul power surged and condensed in Lu Ming's hands. Lu Ming infused the soul power into Wang Xiaomao's body. I give you life. Afterwards, Wang Xiaomao's body began to tremble unconsciously, as if it came alive. His originally thin and dry body became visibly strong and no different from that of an ordinary person. Well, I couldn't make it. In a trance, Wang Xiaomao seemed to find that there were people standing in front of him, staring at him. Dad, and the female monkey, are you all here? Wang Xiaomao opened his eyes and looked at the father and daughter lying on the bed with tears in their eyes. When Wang Yongjun saw Wang Xiaomao wake up, he couldn't hold back his tears any longer. He stepped forward and held Wang Xiaomao's hand, and was speechless for a moment. Wang Area, who was standing by, couldn't help crying as well. She said in a trembling voice, little brother, you woke up, it's good that you woke up. Mother monkey, why are you crying? This is not like you, you monster monkey. If you keep crying you really won't be able to get married. Wang Area's feeling of being touched disappeared in an instant, and she pinched him secretly with a forced smile, which woke Wang Xiaomao up. Hey, why are you pinching me? Are you sick? I'm telling you, you will never get married in this lifetime. Wang Xiaomao somersaulted over, rubbed his arm, and kept blaming Wang Area. Suddenly, the scene became quiet. What the hell? I can stand up. Wang Xiaomao was confused. Fuck, I'm fine. I can stand up. Even Wang Yongjun and Wang Area were in a downtime state. They looked at Lu Ming, who looked tired, and saw him just smile. Old Captain, I have accomplished my mission. Lu Ming looked exhausted. The battle with Cao Wei had already consumed all his soul power. Combined with the healing of Wang Xiaomao, the remaining soul power was injected into his body's self-healing system. These few days, absorb more sea ghost crystals and eat more. There should be no problem later. Lu Ming's face turned pale and he said with a smile. Thump. Wang Yongjun knelt down, but was barely supported by Lu Ming. Thank you, Boss Lu, thank you, Boss Lu. From now on, I, Wang Yongjun, will follow you. Thank you so much, Wang Yongjun said with tears in his eyes. I never dared to think that my son would actually be able to stand up one day. Nothing else to say, thank you, really, thank you. You're welcome. Can you call me Captain? Good, Captain. Okay, you're welcome to join us, Lao Wang. Lu Ming helped Wang Yongjun up, looked at his weathered and dark face, and seemed to remember his previous life in a trance. Practice quickly. Practice quickly. Why does practicing swordplay seem like it's going to kill you? Why is it so difficult? Xiao Lu, if you want to become stronger, you can't do without this training. Xiao Lu, you still want to wrestle me? Dream on. Come here. I will teach you a lesson today. I'm sorry, Xiao Lu. It's all because of me, old Wang, who is incompetent. We didn't get the devil fruit this time. I promise to get one for you next time. Who the hell are you calling Lao Wang? You have no respect for your elders. You should call me Captain. At worst, you can call me Master. Come on, Xiao Lu, look at what good stuff I left for you. Roasted chicken. Isn't it delicious? I can't bear to eat it. Eat it quickly. Don't let those bitches smell it. Damn it, who the FC King drank my wine? Was it you, Xiao Lu? Stop pretending, it's you. I can FC King smell the alcohol. Xiao Lu, I used to have a son. That monkey kid wasn't much younger than you, but, never mind. Go. Don't worry about me, just go. Xiao Lu, you are still young, you shouldn't die here with us. Quote. The past flashed before his eyes like a kaleidoscope of events. Lu Ming's face was pale, but he smiled brightly. Lao Wang, yesterday's roast chicken. It smells really good. With a thud, Lu Ming fainted on the ground. Chapter 19, Insufficient Strength. 3 options. Koi cheat. Open your eyes. Lu Ming slowly woke up and found himself on the bed in the presidential suite. Only then did he realize that he seemed to have fainted just now, but he didn't know how long he had been unconscious. How long have I been unconscious? Lu Ming rubbed his eyebrows while enduring a severe headache. He stood up and took out a can of ice-cold beer from the refrigerator, then went to the balcony. Lu Ming put the ice beer on his forehead to relieve the headache caused by the overdraft of his soul. Click. ? Lu Ming took a sip of ice beer, then looked at the vast ocean, feeling unprecedented peace in his heart. But Lu Ming knew very well that this calm state of mind was brought about by a stable life. If he didn't have the memory of rebirth, if he wasn't Cao Wei's opponent, if there are always too many possibilities in the vast ocean. As time goes by, more and more strong people will emerge. Lu Ming looked serious and started calculating in his mind. Even if I include myself, there are only Yang Xuan, Chu Yang, and Ling Momo, a total of 4 devil fruit users. Too little. Not enough. The bounty team of 10 now has 4 members, which makes Lu Ming feel uneasy about the future full of crises. Strength. Ultimately it's all about strength. Sailing on the sea of doomsday, it all depends on your strength. Only if you are strong enough can you protect everything you have now. Crunch. Lu Ming crushed the beer can and suddenly realized that killing Cao Wei would not be without benefits. First of all, I haven't checked the things in Cao Wei's backpack yet. The Xuanwang level treasure chest of the bounty reward. And what is the reward for the first kill? System, collect the reward. Lu Ming called out. ? Ding. Congratulations, you have won the bounty first kill reward. Reward option 1. Martial arts advancement, up to level 5. You can choose any martial arts you have mastered to advance it. Closing square bracket. Reward option 2. Devil fruit, random fruit. You can randomly obtain a devil fruit from the selected category. Selectable categories: superhuman, animal, natural. Reward option 3. Treasure chest map, random color. Get a treasure chest map of a random color. Note: the treasure chest is guarded by a sea ghost, and strength matching is required. Lu Ming stroked his chin, looking at these options, and for a moment he was a little undecided. Martial arts were upgraded. Lu Ming thought that he also had a newly acquired rank 1 swordsmanship skill, as well as several general martial arts that had not yet been upgraded that were obtained by the salvage team. Level 1 martial arts promoted to level 2. It sounds very cool in the early stage of Doomsday, but it always feels useless. As long as you break through the first level, you can also break through the first level with your own martial arts great freedom. Devil fruit. If you can be sure to give me the thunder fruit, the blue dragon fruit or the tremor fruit, I will charge at you without saying a word. But your randomness, it really depends on your appearance. Lu Ming touched his face, feeling a little unconfident. As for the treasure map, Lu Ming felt that it was useless. He spent a lot of effort to get the treasure chest, but in the end, he couldn't get anything out of it. Wait a moment. I feel bad, but it doesn't matter, I have koi. I have a cheat, what am I afraid of? Lu Ming immediately clicked on Ling Momo's conversation and urged her. Ling Momo, come to my room quickly. It's important. Hurry. Lu Ming rubbed his hands and suddenly felt like a loser. I'm finally standing up today. The other side. ? Ding. Lu Ming was unconscious, so Ling Momo naturally slept after eating and ate after waking up, feeling that life was infinitely good. Ling Momo got up sleepily and saw the panel in front of her. Lu Ming, Ling Momo, come to my room right away. There's something important. Quick. Ling Momo's face changed and she glanced at the dusk outside. Is he sick? Doesn't he work 8 hours a day? What could he do so late at night? He wouldn't. Thinking of this, Ling Momo shrank into the quilt. Suddenly thinking of what happened in the warehouse, Ling Momo, who was curled up in the quilt, blushed. Isn't he going to become a pervert? It's over. It's over. Lu Ming, this pervert, finally couldn't help but attack me. What should I do? Should I run away? But where can I escape to in such a vast ocean? Besides, I eat well and sleep well here. Should I attack him with my fists? But I can't beat him. Besides, the soul contract has been signed. My life is in his hands. Is it that I am destined to not be able to escape this disaster? Momo, I am still a young girl. Why is my life so miserable? Lu Ming, what are you hesitating about? I'll give you 1 minute. Get up here if you can. Ling Momo glanced at the panel in shame and anger. He is anxious. He is anxious. He still couldn't wait any longer. It's over. It's over. Who can save me? The devil has taken a fancy to me. What should I do? Woohoo. Life is not easy, Momo sobs. Humph. Isn't it that? If it really doesn't work, I'll just treat it as being bitten by a dog. Lu Ming, what the fuck are you wasting your time on? Are you putting on your fucking makeup? Get up here right now. Ling Momo covered her mouth with her hands and widened her eyes in disbelief. He also asked me to put on makeup. Is he so perverted? Bastard. Do I need to put a police uniform on you and add some plot to the story? Ling Momo, who was filled with shame and anger, held the pillow in her arms and kept hitting it, as if she mistook the pillow for Lu Ming himself. Lu Ming is here. Lu Ming had a face full of question marks. He had waited for almost an hour but didn't even see the shadow of Ling Momo. I just want you to help at a point. What the hell are you doing? Women are so fucking troublesome. Somebody come. Lu Ming shook his legs anxiously and shouted towards the door. A group of Crow Tengu walked in. Go. Bring that stupid bitch Ling Momo to me. Immediately. Lu Ming said anxiously. All the Crow Tengu looked at each other. Ga. What do you mean you need food delivered? What the hell are you talking about? Just deliver it to me. I'm dizzy. Lu Ming was speechless. Ga. The group of Crow Tengu left in silence and gave Lu Ming a cold look. You said it, boss. Next time I bring someone to deliver food, I'll ask you. Why are you blaming us? Today's bosses are so difficult to please. Soon, under the escort of a group of Crow Tengu, Ling Momo was tied up like a dumpling with her own quilt and sent to Lu Ming's room. This scene made many survivors drop their jaws in shock. Fuck, has our boss finally gotten his way? I just saw Brother Crow giving a girl to the boss. Who said it wasn't true? I saw it too. He was tied up like the fourth master flipping a card. Can anyone tell me who is favored? Tell me, I will give up. Isn't it Secretary Chu? I thought she was having an affair with the boss. They are quite a good match. What do you know? Secretary Chu has a high status, that's because he has a good brother. Do you have one? At this moment, the gossip just reached Secretary Chu. Chu Ling happened to be counting the goods. After hearing the news, he remained relatively calm, but soon. She and Wang Area met on the deck, looking at each other, the mockery in each other's eyes clearly visible. In a blink of an eye, the two passed each other. Isn't it just that he arrived a few days earlier than me? What's the big deal? Wang Area muttered, and happened to meet her younger brother Wang Xiaomao who was wandering in the boat. Hey, female monkey, taking a stroll. Stay away. Chu Ling also happened to meet Chu Yang, who came forward and asked with a gossipy look on his face, I thought it was you. You scared me. Now I feel relieved. But, in the future. Before he could finish, Chu Ling's eyes turned red and she bit her lips, looking broken. What's wrong with you? Chu Yang was puzzled. Go to hell. Chu Ling wiped her tears and ran away. Chu Yang was confused. Wang Yongjun, who was drinking in the cafeteria, immediately showed a heavy expression when he heard the news. It seems that I have to keep an eye on Arya from now on. Even if I find a job again in my middle age, I can't let my daughter down, right? Even if you save my son, it's impossible for you to do anything to my daughter. Regardless of whether I should say it or not, your wine is pretty good, burp. Hey, where is my area? On the contrary, Wu Chief, who had just absorbed the sea ghost crystal, immediately showed a relieved expression after hearing the news. Nice. Momo, I knew you would be the first wife for sure. Just be a good lady and bless you, Angkor, to obtain the devil fruit soon. Note, a powerful devil fruit. Thank you. Wu Chu twisted his butt and walked into the bathroom to take a hot bath. But at this moment, the instigator of everything. Lu Ming looked at the silkworm pupa in front of him, feeling a little confused. He drew his sword and looked around, feeling confused and dazed. He looked at the crow Tengu in front of him and tilted his head in confusion. Who told you to send me this person tied up like this? Gah. Lu Ming took a breath of cold air. Finally, he waved his hand weakly and asked the crow Tengu to retreat. When I have enough soul power, I will definitely upgrade your level first. At least upgrade from bronze to silver first, otherwise it will be too troublesome to use. After Crow Tengu left, Lu Ming kicked the silkworm lying on the ground. Oi, it's out. Well, please turn off the lights first. Turn off the lights before I come out. Ling Momo said stutteringly. What nonsense are you talking about? Turn off the chicken feather light. Lu Ming was puzzled. What the hell is wrong with you all? Lucky fruit increases luck, but reduces IQ. Why didn't I see this in the comics before? Get out of this white cocoon shell of yours right now. Be lucky. Why turn off the lights? Lu Ming said unhappily. How can I know what I'm getting with the lights off? What? Be lucky. Ling Momo was confused. Only then did she come out from under the quilt and looked at Lu Ming with a red face, feeling a little embarrassed. It turns out it's to add luck points. I thought he was trying to steal my eggs. Hey, excuse me, snapped. Ling Momo blushed and patted Lu Ming. The next moment, Lu Ming chose option 2. Devil fruit natural system. Ding. Random start. Lu Ming began to pray. I don't ask for the thunder fruit SSR, just something similar will do. Ice and snow, flashing lava, wind and air, I accept everything. The flame fruit. Come, meet at 98, come, wealth and glory. Ding. Congratulations. You get. Fuck. Chapter 20, Flame fruit. Wash fruit. The destiny of the non-African. Ding. Congratulations. You obtained the flame fruit. It has been sent to the backpack, please check. A bright red flame fruit fell into Lu Ming's hand. Lu Ming stared at the flame fruit in a daze, unable to say anything. Destroy it. I have no attachment to this world anymore. I, Lu Ming, never expected that even the lucky fruit could not save my unlucky fate. Flame fruit. Dog system, are you fucking kidding me? Suddenly, he looked up at Ling Momo and asked suspiciously, are you sure you added luck to me? Added. Real. Ling Momo patted her chest and responded seriously. Lu Ming became even more depressed. He turned to look at the flame fruit in his hand. He couldn't figure out what this thing was used for. Who is it for? Wu Chief. Lao Wang. You can't give it to Chuling or Wang area, right? Lu Ming couldn't even imagine the scene of two gentle girls raising their flaming hands and shouting, fire fists. Although the elementalization of the flame fruit looks very powerful in the early stages, it is still restrictive in the later stages due to everyone's armament color. Chief Wu was the first to follow Lu Ming and was also the oldest person on the ship. His loyalty to Lu Ming was unquestionable. Therefore, in Lu Ming's mind, the devil fruit is given a certain rank. The first choice is Wu Chu. As for Wu Chu, Lu Ming thought that he should choose fruits that focus on strength and physique. For example, the superhuman type diamond fruit gravity fruit, or the natural type rock fruit, or even the animal type mythical beasts. As for Lao Wang, his situation is similar to Chief Wu's, but Lao Wang is a professional soldier after all, and his fighting skills are top-notch among everyone. When choosing a devil fruit, one should play to one's strengths and avoid one's weaknesses, choose the ability of the fruit, and maximize the strengths of one's fighting skills. No matter how you think about it, these two people are not compatible with the flame fruit. Lu Ming fiddled with the flame fruit with a heavy expression, thinking about how he should deal with this devil fruit. But he didn't see the fleeting cunning at the corner of Ling Momo's mouth. If it weren't for the curse of the devil fruit, a person couldn't eat a second devil fruit, but I could eat it. Lu Ming was very clear about the limit of his strength, although it was relatively easy for him to face Cao Wei this time. But after all, he has lived 2 lives as a human being, and he has the combat experience of his previous life, the bonus of his self-created martial arts, as well as the ability of the soul fruit. But once faced with a person with natural abilities, he is helpless. In the early days of the apocalypse, users with natural abilities are basically unbeatable, unless they obtain a martial arts book of armament hockey. Lu Ming knows himself very well. In terms of killing methods, there is still a lack of crucial skills. Lu Ming vaguely remembered the 3 rainbow-level homies that Big Moom possessed. Zeus the Thunder Cloud, Napoleon the Horned Hat, and Prometheus the Sun. Hey, just because I don't eat it doesn't mean I can't use it. Lu Ming seemed to have thought of something, and glanced at the fat guy Chengtian who was still snoring in his eye sockets. Thundercloud Zeus represents thunder power, Sun Prometheus represents fire power, and Bicorn Hat Napoleon can switch to carrier weapons at any time. Weapons, Lu Ming is ready. All that's left is. Lu Ming Fu was inspired and smiled knowingly, saying to Ling Momo, well done. Ling Momo was at a loss. Take back the fruit. Lu Ming opened the panel and began to check his current status. Name, Lu Ming, ? Age, 24, species, human. Level, none, ? Integral. Ability, parahuman soul fruit owner. Your current identity, bounty hunter. ? Asterisk 1, asterisk 7, asterisk 3, asterisk 1, asterisk 1, asterisk 9. Small artillery 11, large artillery 3, martial arts, lotus spear technique, martial arts, Kaishan fist, martial arts, prajna palm, martial arts, Tongbei fist, first level martial arts, sad wind sword technique, some miscellaneous items. ? Ding. Do you want to open Cao Wei's backpack? Lu Ming raised his eyebrows and clicked confirm. Lu Ming also had to admit that the national pirate system did have its advantages. As long as one killed the target on the bounty list, one could obtain all the contents of the target's backpack, saving the trouble of picking up the bag himself. This was very user-friendly. ? You get points. You get sea ghost crystal. You get sea stone, small, asterisk 3. You get a devil fruit, unidentified, asterisk 1. You get some martial arts, some food, and some sundries. ? Lu Ming was shocked. Damn it, Cao Wei, you bastard, are you so rich? Damn it, Cao Wei can even open a devil fruit, why am I so unlucky? Nearly 4 points, and nearly 2 sea ghost crystals. There are also 3 pieces of sea stone. Sea floor stone. The basic means to restrain the natural system in the early stage of doomsday. Unfortunately, neither he nor the salvage team has seen even the shadow of seastone so far. I didn't expect that this bastard Cao Wei actually had 3 pieces. What Lu Ming didn't know was that these 3 pieces of seastone were not obtained by Cao Wei on his own, but were aid supplies given to Cao Wei by the Demon City Daxia Navy. In order to cultivate such a powerful trump card as Cao Wei and prevent Cao Wei from encountering people with natural abilities, 3 pieces of seastone were specially approved to make weapons for him. However, before the weapons were made, he was killed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming snorted unhappily. The next second, he took out the unidentified devil fruit. Do you want to use item identification? Closing square bracket. Identification. Lu Ming exclaimed. Nima. My only talent has finally come in handy. ? Ding. ? Identified. Item. Devil fruit. Name. Parahuman wash fruit. Ability. Able to wash any item. Closing square bracket. Gone. Cao Wei, you died a good death. It would be a waste of such a good thing if it fell into your hands. I will use it well for you. You can rest in peace, away. Lu Ming didn't expect that the washing fruit owned by Lieutenant General Crane, in the original work actually fell into his hands. The excited Lu Ming immediately jumped up and hugged Ling Momo in front of him tightly. Well done, Ling Momo. Lucky fruit. It lives up to its reputation. Lu Ming praised. This sudden intimate action startled Ling Momo. Her ears turned red and she stared at Lu Ming, unable to speak for a moment. Come again. Open the Xuanwang level treasure chest. Lu Ming was very excited, looking forward to whether the treasure chest could reveal the island of his dreams. Xuanwang level treasure chest has been opened. Question mark. Congratulations. You get 1 emerald level treasure chest map. Fuck. I'm your mother. Lu Ming collapsed instantly. You are playing with me. Island. Where is the island I want? Where's the devil fruit? You should give it to me. Lu Ming looked up at the sky and howled in silence. Finally, he waved his hand weakly at Ling Momo. Go back to sleep. I'm tired. Even the lucky fruit can't save me. That's it. That's all. This is life. It's all fate. Alas. Ling Momo nodded with a blushing face, and when she walked out the door, a sly and charming smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.